They're hardcore.
Hell, I play offense and defense all the time. One time I recovered a fumble, tackled myself.
Hardcore football, Wednesday on Fox Sports Northwest. The following is a presentation of Fox Sports Northwest.
They've met just once before in the playoffs in the 1989 championship game, and Ashland beat Roseburg 24-22. The Grizzlies' victory not assured until they blocked a potential game-winning field goal on the final play of the game. This year's Ashland team is undefeated and led by senior quarterback Jimmy Werbin, but he was hurt late in the semifinal win over Jesuit, and his status is uncertain. As always, Roseburg has a strong running game. Their ball carriers are tough to bring down. Two traditional powers from the Southern Oregon Conference playing for the Class 4A championship. It's coming straight up. Electricity in the air as football fans from all over the state have come here to Autzen Stadium in Eugene, site of the Oregon School Activities Association U.S. Bank Class 4A championship game. Fourth-ranked Ashland tries to wrap up a perfect season, while unrated Roseburg tries to win its third state championship in the last 4 years. Hi, everybody. I'm Scott Lynn, and welcome to what should be a very, very entertaining game. These two teams probably the best programs in Oregon high school football the last dozen years. Ashland has been in 5 of the last 10 state championship games, Roseburg 7 of the last 12. You know, they played in 1989 for the championship, but they also played earlier this season. Ashland at home, the Grizzlies winning at 35-21. Jimmy Werbin, a big passing day. Receiver Jake Hester had 2 long touchdown catches. Now, Werbin finished with 258 yards in the air, even though Ashland had the ball only half as long. Ironically, Roseburg has not lost since, winning 8 straight games in dominating fashion. Joining me today, former Lake Oswego High School, Portland State, and NFL quarterback Neil Lomax. And Neil, some people might be a little bit surprised to find 2 teams from the same conference playing for the state championship.
Well, not if you're from Oregon. I know Oregon high school football, and the best football is played down south.
Well, as far as the big question of the day is Jimmy Werbin, will he play at quarterback for Ashland?
Jimmy Werbin will play. He did dislocate his shoulders slightly last week in the semifinal game, but as you see his stats last week, he threw 2 touchdowns, but the guy's a gamer. Who does not want, as a senior, to play in the championship game? If he is limited, he'll go to these great backs. There's Chris Pavlonis. You see the stats on him. Great halfback. Not a lot of great size, but great speed. Then you have Joel Smith. He's the guy that's going to go between the tackles for you to get those tough yards up front.
Well, Roseburg has been known as a running team, but they're throwing the football a little more. Yeah. Still, you're going to see Roseburg run. They do it 75% of the time.
Yeah, 3 out of 4 times. Thurman Bell does not want to throw the football. He's going to run it with Bodenhammer, number 34 up front, as well as Bixby. Here's Paul Bodenhammer. He's the guy who's going to get the tough yards. But Linderman, the quarterback's got to do a real good job of reading that front line. If he reads it well, gives it to Bixby, you see him twist and turn. Only weighs 140 pounds, but he does get the job done for the Roseburg Indians.
I've watched him the last 2 weeks. He's a very impressive young guy, a little like Oregon State's fine young tailback, Ken Simonton. So the stage is set, the curtain is about to go up, and everybody is ready here at Autzen Stadium in Eugene. We've talked a lot about the offenses, but you know, both teams have outstanding defenses. Ashland's Zach Hassel, the team's leading tackler. He'll also play quarterback if Werbin can't go. Roseburg's Byron Redeker, number 75, the Defensive Player of the Year in the SOC. The kickoff is just ahead with the 4A title on the line.
The stock pages aren't the only place to make money in the Oregonian. Every day, thousands of people shop the classifieds. It's a hot market for both buyers and sellers. And you can get it
on Fox Sports Northwest tonight.
Monday, it's a meeting of the media minds and mouths on Press Road. Tuesday, it's our regular get-together with Seahawks All-Pro defensive end Michael Sinclair. Wednesday, a rain preview of their game against the New England Blizzard. Thursday, we'll profile Cougar basketball player Kojo Mensah Bonsu. And on Friday, we'll talk Husky hoops as they get ready to take on New Mexico State. I'm Tom Glasgow. Join us for that and more Monday through Friday at 7 on Fox Sports Northwest tonight.
Get the confidence factor only at Mox.
A 60-day limited 100% warranty on every certified used car and truck. A 110-point inspection on every used vehicle by factory-certified technicians. Plus, a giant selection of quality used vehicles at the Big Corner, with sale prices clearly posted for hassle-free shopping. Get the confidence factor, only at Mox, just before the Caveman Bridge, downtown Grants Pass.
Ready, set, shop, 'tis the season. Can't you feel it coming on strong? It's a holly jolly reason to sing a Christmas song. Ready, set, shop.
Rogue Valley Mall has something for everyone in more than 120 spectacular stores, including mall gift certificates, redeemable for the gifts of their choice in every store. Enjoy extended shopping hours now through the season.
A holiday surprise. Ready, set, shop.
Rogue Valley Mall.
Fox Sports Northwest exclusive coverage of the OSAA U.S. Bank 4A Football Championship presented by United Rentals is brought to you by the Oregonian, practically indispensable, by the Thomason Auto Group, and by the Umpqua Dairy of Roseburg. Welcome back, everybody, to the beautiful Willamette Valley and a great day for football. In fact, the sun's been shining for part of the day here in Eugene. We're at Autzen Stadium, the home of the University of Oregon Ducks. Let's go down on the sidelines to gentlemen who will be joining us throughout the day. Bob Akamian. Bob?
Thanks a lot, Scott. The absolute latest word from Ashland is that Jimmy Warblin does start at quarterback. He is a bit diminished in his throwing ability, but he is going to get the start. The other story we have just learned is that the backup, Zach Hassel, is also injured and also did not practice all week, so his ability to play on offense is limited. In fact, he also won't start in his usual position on defense. Roseburg's big injury story, of course, is Ryan Poe, the outstanding safety. Tore his ACL in preseason this year, has played all year on a torn ACL. He needs reconstructive surgery, but he's going to wait till the season ends. He says every week he plays with no fear. He better have no fear today. It's a state championship, Scott.
All right, thank you very much, Bob. And that is huge news about Hassel. He is the leading tackler for the Ashland Grizzlies. You're looking at Thurman Bell, the head coach of the Roseburg Indians. He's been there a while. Has in a 29th season, 223 wins. And he's won some state championships in 81, 95, 96, and co-champs in 90. He's looking to get another one here today. On the other side of the football, you have the Ashland Grizzlies. Now, you're not seeing head coach Jim Nagel. He spends his time, Neil, up in the booth. Jim Nagel, in his 5th title game, he's 2-2 in those thus far in his 16th year at Ashland. Yeah, he's up here somewhere. Jimmy Nagel, 150 wins, 39 losses. He is 10-7 in his career against Thurman Bell in the head-to-head.
And he must be doing something right. That's very odd, unique that a head coach would be upstairs. Usually you got to be the general on the sidelines.
The series, well, since 1983, yes, Ashland has won 10 of 17. 83, of course, when Nagel arrived at Ashland and made the Grizzlies a power. And there it is, the 1989 title game. It was a thriller. We expect this one to be a thriller as well. Roseburg won the coin toss and will receive the football. Ashland will defend the east goal. And you can see fans of the Grizzlies wearing the red and white, the black and orange for Roseburg. The weather today, almost 60 degrees.
Beautiful.
For goodness sake.
Yeah.
These guys have played in snow, mud, rain, everything through the playoffs, and now we're ready to get things going here today. Kickoff is taken and right back up to the 25-yard line. That was J.J. Wolford for Roseburg. A 15-yard return, and there is Kevin Linderman. He is the starting quarterback, just a junior out of Roseburg, the SOC co-offensive player of the year, along with Werben, his Ashland counterpart. Threw for almost 1,700 yards this season, 19 touchdowns, and just 6 interceptions. His coach, Thurman Bell, says he just simply does not make mistakes. Here on the first exchange, you just want to get that play and get it underway, don't you, Neil? Bodenhammer, the fullback, lined up in the I option on the first play. This is Conway Bixby around the corner, and I'll tell you, he's got great speed and can get around the outside. He is just a sophomore, and again, he is a very, very strong one. Let's check the starting lineups here for this 4A championship game. We'll start with the offensive line for Roseburg. This is a very strong offensive line. 3 all-conference offensive linemen. Big, strong, quick, experienced line. The backs and receivers, Bixby and Bodenhammer. Pat Anderson, the leading receiver out of his tight end spot. It's going to be Second down and 5 here. Not much doing here. Gain of about 3. Going to be third down and short. Bodenhammer, the ball carrier there. There's the Ashland defense. And this Ashland D has just outstanding players. And they've done pursuit in these previous games in the playoffs like nobody's business. And there you see the defensive front for the Ashland Grizzlies. Nick Bakke is team high 12 tackles for loss. The linebackers very solid. And there's Jake Kester, Contreras, Pavlonis in the back in the secondary. Big play here early on. Third down and 2 for Roseburg. It's actually a short 2 handoff to Bodenhammer. He is hammered right there, and it depends on the spot. Coming up big on the hit. Well, that was Joel Smith coming up.
And a big hit on Joel Smith. We're going to see if Hassel Smith, a 2 linebacker, he reads it. He comes in when the guard pulls and makes a stop. And that's nothing unusual for Ashland. Anytime you can see Roseburg in a third short, they're going to run between tackles. About 80% of the time, Thurman Bell will stay between tackles on third and less than 2.
There's Thurman Bell. You saw Joel Smith a moment ago. He was number 2 on the team with 80 tackles.
They're going to be short.
It's going to be very close. And I'm talking, it is. You talking about
credit card short?
Yeah. Oh, they gave him the nose of the ball.
Oh, wait a minute.
Thurman Bell gets the first break. The Ashland fans don't like the spot, or certainly don't like the measurement, and that's about the closest you'll ever see on a spot, isn't it?
Well, you usually bring out that credit card from the line judge. He kind of slides it down the pole to see if that's a first down or not, but barely made it by the nose.
So 1st and 10, the ball out to the 35, and I do mean just barely. Bodenhammer and Bixby in the eye. Ryan Morrison is wide to the right side and now goes in motion. Little play action. Linderman now going to run, and he's in trouble. Gets something out of nothing, though. Very nicely done. The defensive stop there coming up was number 59, Michael Ridbaum, to make the stop. But Linderman actually got more out of that than I thought he had.
Well, this will be a surprise. You won't see Roseburg throw the ball much at all today, let alone on first down. Very rare. But if they do throw, it'll be play action. And Linderman wanted to go deep. He had Morrison cutting down the seam. Didn't see him. Make something out of nothing. The guy's rushed 99 times. He's run as many times as he's completed passes.
Tease Kydert goes wide to the left for Roseburg on this second down play. After the 2-yard pickup, it's a 2nd down and 8. Anderson goes in motion. It's the pitch on the option. This is Bixby. Bixby breaks free. He has great speed. He might go. No, he steps out of bounds. He steps out of bounds. Graham Quant had an angle on him and would have stopped him from scoring a touchdown. But Bixby showing some of that early excitement that I thought might happen. He's a good one.
Well, he is a good one, but the guy who makes his play is Anderson. Number 9, he comes back and cleans up the clock on Mason. Number 18, who could have made the play for actually a loss. So Bixby's got to give credit to Pat Anderson for making that. Now, you can block behind the back, behind the line of scrimmage. So folks on TV, if you watch it, hey, wait a minute, that's a clip. In that zone, you can block behind the back in engagement.
The ball down to the 43-yard line of Ashland, 1st and 10. Bodenhammer and Bixby again in the eye. Morrison wide to the right. And that's Dustin Mikulik to the left. And now pitching to the right side. Again, Bixby. He has good speed. Uses the blockers well. First down to the 25-yard line. And right away, you can see Conway Bixby, the 5'9", 145-pound sophomore, making a difference.
Again, it's the veer, and what the quarterback does is read. Watch the quarterback's eyes. You see, no, the tackle's there, which is Smith, and I got to pitch it. That's Linderman's responsibility. You know, Bixby makes a good play here, but Linderman's job is to read the tackle. If he commits, I pitch.
Mikulik had a pretty nice block on that play as well.
Right.
1st and 10, 9.5 minutes left first quarter. Bixby, 3 carries, 44 yards already. That's Kydert in motion. They come the other direction. Bixby not going to have anywhere to go here. Excellent pursuit and finally brought down by Ridbaum. But he was strung out to the outside, and that's where Ridbaum came up to make the stop. Pretty well defended there by the Ashland Grizzlies.
Mason did a really good job of fending off his block. Robin Kadebo came up here to put a good lick on Mason. Mason just took his hands and threw him down and made a good stop of the play.
Loss of 3 on the play. So it'll be 2nd down, 13. play action to Bodenhammer, and Linderman's in trouble, and down he goes. The sack coming up, and there it is. Mason, you talked about him a moment ago. Austin Mason, 5'9", check that, 6'2", 194 senior. And he's a good one, offense and defense.
Yeah, both ways. He's made all SOC starter on defense and offense. He's not going to get faked by any kind of play action. He knows those situations. He's not going to get sell on that fake. This guy's a great player, not just offensively. He scored that touchdown last week against Jesuit. A little quick out, 75-yard on offense. He also is all-league defense.
In fact, he returned an interception 40 yards for a touchdown against Klamath Union. Third down, 16. Probably a pass coming. Under pressure, coming back the other way. Bodenhammer makes a good catch. Blocking ahead of him. Bodenhammer inside the 15. And it's going to be very close. Yeah, it is a first down. Down to the 12-yard line. Nice play, well conceived. And actually, it looked like Ashland had that play stopped.
Well, play action doesn't sell the run here. What does sell the play is you had 3 receivers on the far side. And that spread it out for Bodenhammer. Great catch. He's had 16 receptions over the year so far, but they don't want to go to him. But it's a great snag here. I'll tell you what, number 70 just did a great job. That's Baki. Almost knocked the ball down, but just a great call by Thurman Bell and his offensive staff.
Bodenhammer and Bixby again in the eye. Again in motion goes Mikulik. Pitch outside to Bixby. He's got a blocker out there in front of him. Bixby inside the 5, takes a hit, still ticking, gets down to close to a first down at the 2-yard line. And it looks like it's, well, let's wait for the spot. Bixby really took a shot. Let's see if he's okay. He really got stood up as he saw the end zone in sight. And that was quite a hit. And I believe Graham Quant was the guy who put the hit on him.
Yeah, Quant's coming out, but also Bixby's down. I mean, the kid only weighs 145 pounds. He's 5'9", 145 pounds. He's rushed for almost 700 yards this year. He's got some quick feet. Again, what I love about this offense is the way the receivers block. You talked about Kydert coming in here and blocking. Number 3 was out, Kydert out there. Mikulik put a great hit on Contreras to really make that play go, Scott. And that's what these receivers work on. They might not catch the ball a lot, but you watch them downfield really working on those extra blocks. That's a nice pop right there.
That was a touchdown-saving pop, but at this moment, Bixby down on the field. And we were going to, as we watch the end of this play, we're going to take a quick break, and as they tend to young Conway Bixby, we'll come right back and continue. It'll be 1st and goal at the 2 for Ashland. No score first quarter.
Tools give you the power to achieve goals. Financial tools from U.S. Bank are no exception. They make routine jobs go faster. The more you work with them, the more confident.
Welcome back to Eugene, everybody. Ashland and Roseburg, no score. And you see Conway Twitty is up and is off on his own power, and that is very good news. Ryan Poe is in to replace him at the tailback spot right here on this 1st and goal at the 2. Right straight ahead, Bodenhammer, and I believe he has it. Let's wait and see. No signal yet. No signal yet, and no touchdown. Bodenhammer thought he was in there, but no, he's going to be just short. Bodenhammer, the fullback, he's a guy who only has 11 yards and losses all year. You know, at that fullback spot, you're going to get the ball and be going straight ahead, but that's pretty impressive for a guy who's close to 800 yards. And there's Ryan Poe, the guy playing with the ACL injury. Yeah. He would have been probably the premier running back for this team prior to that injury.
Quite a story on him. We'll talk about Ryan later after this play.
2nd and goal at the 1. Hand off to Bodenhammer. First guy through. In for the touchdown. And the Roseburg Indians strike first. Paul Bodenhammer with the touchdown, Neil.
Well, just a good finish to a really good orchestrated drive. If you notice, nobody blocked Steve Cornell. You had Bone and Rayburn shot and missed their assignments on that one. And Cornell came up, made the pop, but Bodenhammer's just too strong. Very impressive. What else can you ask for your opening play, state championship game? You're marching on down and score. Thurman Bell's very happy.
Ryan Holt on to try the point after. Both of these teams have outstanding kicking games, and that one is up and through. The PAT is good. Holt now good on 12 of 14 in the playoffs. Linderman leading the drive down the field. The running back's doing the work, and Bodenhammer gets the touchdown. Roseburg Roseburg leading Ashland 7-0 here in Eugene, Autzen Stadium. The Roseburg fans feeling pretty good about the way this game has started. Obviously, Conway Bixby and Paul Bodenhammer leading the charge. The running backs definitely doing the job. There's number 34 who scored the touchdown moments ago. Great drive. 12 plays, 75 yards, took 5 minutes. Bodenhammer finishing it off, and of course Bixby did a great job on that drive also. The Roseburg Indians with Ryan Holt. Roseburg did allow 2 long kickoff returns last week in the semifinals. This is Pavlonis, and great coverage. As for the year, Roseburg's done a nice job of stopping kickoff returns, and they do a nice job right here. Pavlonis just didn't have anywhere to go. Let's go down on the sidelines to Bob Akamian for a quick injury update.
Well, fortunately, no serious problem for Conway Bixby. Indeed, he had his bell rung, had to come out of the game for one play, and the biggest damage was they had to clean a little blood off his wrist, had a little bit of turf burn, but Bixby will be back in there, and he's ready to go right now.
That's great news for the Roseburg fans, no question about that. So first down now for Ashland, getting the football for the first time with just under 7 minutes left here in this first quarter. Jimmy Werbin, starting quarterback. There was some question of that all week, but he worked out yesterday and is fine. Handoff, really nicely defended. That's Jake Kester coming around on the outside. Kester, the wide receiver, is the team's top receiver, but there's Jimmy Werbin, the quarterback. The 6'1" senior threw for over 2,500 yards. A lot of interceptions, but boy, a lot of touchdowns too. And that's the number that you look at. Can he get the ball to the end zone? And yes, Jimmy Werbin can throw that TD pass. Pickup of a couple on the last play as Kester stopped after the 2-yard gain. Werbin to throw. And he throws. He was a little bit hurried, a little pressured, if you will. Incomplete. Let's check the starting lineups for the Ashland offense. And this offensive line is only allowed 15 sacks in the 13 games. That's a pretty good job of protecting your quarterback, Nicholas Baki and company. There is your list of backs and receivers. Joel Smith, Pavlonis, the running backs. They can catch the ball out of the backfield as well. And Austin Mason, the tight end, by the way, does a nice job. He's the number 2 receiver on the team. Kester, the leading receiver. 3rd down, 8 play coming up. Out of the shotgun. Trips to the right side. Werbin on the move, throws. Incomplete. Just over the top of Gabe Stevens, his intended receiver. He had enough for the first down, but they couldn't connect. And it's going to be a punting situation for the first time. And Austin Mason will likely do the punting, as Jimmy Werbin, who actually did the punting last week in the semifinals, goes to the sideline to talk to the coaching staff. So Austin Mason, number 18, comes on. He was in a bit of a slump, and that's why they gave Werbin a chance to do it. But they're both pretty decent. Mason averaging almost 34 yards per punt on the season. He kicks it from his 15-yard line. Morrison takes it about the 40. Gets across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Again, some pretty nice coverage. In on that tackle there was Sean Sharofsky.
Well, Scott,
Roseburg gets it for the second time.
I'll make a point of you can't ask for anything better for Roseburg coming out defensively, shutting them down 3 plays and out. But I'm looking for Jimmy Werbin, not so much this series, next series. After he takes that first look, if we take a look at Hassel, some of the other players offensively on the sideline, I want to see how he responds after his first big hit. He's a little nervous right now. I'm going to give him that. But we'll see how they respond second, third, fourth series of the game.
35-yard punt, 7-yard return for Ryan Morrison. And it's first down and 10 just outside the 46-yard line of Roseburg. Play action to Bodenhammer. This is to over the top to Anderson. A big play. Pat Anderson, the tight end. Well-conceived play, and it's another first down. Roseburg looking sharp early, as they really have since losing to Ashland long time ago.
Well, real nice setup here on first down. Again, watch the quarterback Linderman's eyes all the time. He's watching downfield. They had doubles to left, 2 wide receivers to left, and that set Pat Anderson man-to-man on a linebacker. He blew right by Joel Smith and was wide open.
And Graham Quant came in to make the tackle. Good to see Quant back in as well. He was shaken up on that big goal line stick of Conway Bixby early on. Bixby, by the way, back in the game now. The handoff to Bodenhammer, the fullback coming through. They've really established that they will hand the ball to the fullback, and that opens up so much more as you have to respect that. You know, these teams playing for the second time this year. Of course, the first time in the regular season. And Zach Hassel, the linebacker for Ashland, talked to us about that, having to play Roseburg twice.
Also in on the stop.
Yeah, it's not good. They'll know about us, but you know, conversely, we'll know a lot about them too. I mean, because we've done a good job stopping the option, stopping the running game, and I'm sure we can do that again. And the one problem is their passing game has come a long way since then. You know, usually they're just a running team, and they've developed the pass this year lately, and that's one thing I have to work on.
Well, no pass on that one, just a handoff to Bodenhammer and stopped short. Castle there, number 16. Again, the team's leading tackler during the season, in on 91 tackles, 45 solo. That also a team high. And now we have an injured player, Ryan Hansen, defensive tackle, all Southern Oregon Conference, first-team player down on the field for Ashland. One thing you don't want to see at all in a state championship game is injuries on either side, and we've had a couple of them. First couple of guys were able to shake it off. They're back in the game. Let's hope Mr. Hansen can as well. We'll be right back. Get back, everybody, to Eugene. We see some Christmas trees getting ready to go to your nearby lot so that we can celebrate the holidays together. We're here at Autzen Stadium. Decent crowd. I don't think there's any question that the fans from Ashland and Roseburg have emptied their towns to join us here today for the OSAA US Bank 4A State Football Championship presented by United Rentals. 3rd and 4 here for Roseburg. The ball on the 25. The pitch is to Conway Bixby. Well defended by Ashland and covered, and he is dropped. There again, Michael Ridbaum coming in to make the stop. Big number 59. We've called Ridbaum's name a couple of times. You know, tonight at 10, folks, it's Fox Sports News primetime. College football scores and highlights, NHL news, NFL highlights as well. It's your hometown teams. Yes, we are there. Fox Sports News primetime tonight at 10 on Fox Sports Northwest. There's some of the crowd that you can see here. The orange and the black are from Roseburg. The red and the white, obviously, from Ashland.
You'll see this often today, Scott, on 4th and 5 in this area. They don't want to punt high school football. This is 4-down territory. You don't have a field goal kicker to kick this far.
The pass, open, drop. Jed Brewer was open, couldn't quite come up with it, and it will be Ashland taking over the football. So far this game, Roseburg has 105 yards in total offense. Ashland just 2.
Well, Ashland's only had the ball once right now.
Right.
Again, we'll see what Jimmy Werbin can do, and Thurman Bell's not quite happy with that. Linderman did a great job deciding where to throw the ball, how hard to throw it. Jed Brewer just to come with the catch.
You see Thurman Bell. Ashland has kind of been the thorn in his side, if you will.
I like the high-tech headsets, by the way. You know, a few years ago, you had one little ear buff and little, you know, your mic in front of your face. Now they got 4 or 5 antennas, different colors, offense, defense. All right, Jimmy, let's see what you got.
Jimmy Werbin with Joel Smith, the lone running back behind him. Second time Ashland has taken the football now here in the state championship game. Coming around the other side, it's Chris Pavlonis. Well defended by Roseburg. Looked like that play might develop pretty well, but stopped. Nicely done there by Dan Sievers. Sievers coming on to make the stop. Starting lineup defensively for the Roseburg Indians: Buck Forrest, Richie Charles, Byron Reneker, and Matt Brock. Reneker, the league player of the year. Kirkendall and Norton are your linebackers. And then yet you got 5 guys back there in the secondary. And Ryan Poe, the guy playing with the ACL, is your starting strong safety. But Dustin Mikulik had an outstanding season once he moved to free safety. There's some very good talent back there. And again, some misdirection stuff. Pavlonis breaking free. Will he get the first down? He's very close. I think he's got it. Chris Pavlonis, the leading rusher on this team, averaging 5 yards a carry, and he got about that on this one. Maybe a little more, and I think he has the first down. And he does.
Well, Pavlonis got that all on his own because it was a counter left, which was stopped up very good by Charles and Forrest. Really clogged it. Here comes the counter coming left. You see the OT, the off guard, off tackle pull. Pavlonis, the athlete that he is, doesn't see a hole, bounces out to the outside for the first Ashland first down.
And Brewer coming up to make the stop. Jed Brewer. 1st and 10. First down for Ashland, as we mentioned. 3 receivers to the left side. Werbin gets out there, has time to throw. Throws, and it is juggling catch. Oh, yeah. What a play.
Kester, probably.
Kester, yeah. He's the man. He's the #1 receiver on this team, and you see why. He's now up close to 1,000 yards receiving this year.
Well, it just doesn't surprise anybody who's an Ashland fan. Kester's been doing this all year, especially the playoffs. I'll tell you who feels really good right about now is Jimmy Warburton. He's saying, hey, I felt pretty good. I rolled to my left, which is very difficult to do for right-handed quarterbacks, especially with a little separated shoulder. Going to your left and making a pinpoint throw like that.
First down and 10. The ball on the 42-yard line of Roseburg into Indians territory for the first time. Warburton to throw. He's got time. Going deep for Kester, and it's incomplete. Well defended back there by Ryan Morrison, the left cornerback.
Warburton's pass intended for Kester.
Well, he had Mason too wide open. I think this is a statement that Jimmy Warburton wanted to make, though. I see Mason open, but I'm going to go ahead and go downtown to my man Kester. I'm going to show Roseburg I can throw the ball deep. You cannot now play me bump and run with only one free. You better respect my arm now. I'm not that hurt.
Morrison tied for the team lead with a couple of interceptions this year. Just has outstanding cover skills, say the coaches, and we saw it right there. He did a nice job. So now 2nd and 10, and back under center goes Jimmy Warburton. Nice to see Warburton play. You don't want anybody to miss a state championship game.
Especially for a senior here.
Right. And now we have a whistle and our first penalty of the day. Referee Vic Gorzelski will sort things out. He's the guy in the white hat. Usually that means you're a good guy, right?
Well, not unless you get the call against you.
Which Ashland does right here.
Dead ball foul.
Let's go down on the sidelines very quickly to Bob Akamian. Bob.
Well, as we said, this is the second time these two teams have met in a state championship game. The first time all the way back to 1989, Roseburg and Ashland. It was the Grizzlies' first state championship, and it was Jim Nagel's flying circus in action. Look at that, long distance. It came down to a field goal, a blocked field goal. Ashland blocks the Jamie Burke field goal, and the Grizzlies won 24-22. Here we are again in 98.
Warburton with the pass attempt a little high, incomplete. A flag down in the secondary, though, and they'll wait and sort that out.
Well, that's from the back, Judge, and I think you're going to have a personal foul here in a late hit on one of the defensive backs for the Indians.
Roseburg, by the way, last week in the semifinals had no penalties against Tualatin in the win.
That's impressive. I mean, I saw that stat too, Sky. No penalties in a football game of that magnitude.
Tualatin had 5 for 117 yards. That's a huge difference.
And there's our personal foul. I didn't get a chance. I took my head away, looked at Jimmy Warburton to see how he finished his throw, but I don't know if it was Mikulek or Brewer came over and put a little slash on Kester. That's Mikulek kind of looking at that was me maybe. And
Mikulek, by the way,
had a 15-yarder too if it's personal foul.
If that was Mikulek, and I won't assume that it was, but let's just say if it was, maybe he could talk about that in the newspaper column next week. He's been all week long in a Medford newspaper. He's had a column talking about his thoughts and his teammates' thoughts as they practice and head up to the championship game. Very informative, and I think great for the fans to see that. He's got some pretty good stories to tell.
That was very entertaining to hear from a player's point of view on what the week was like, especially in that tradition-bound Roseburg area.
So now it's first down and 10 all the way to the 32 of Roseburg, and then the best opportunity of the day thus far for the Grizzlies. Kester goes in motion, and he has the football around the right side. Great pursuit by the Indians defensively. And coming up was Mikulek, the free safety, to make the stop. He also had some help there from big number 65 defensive end Buck Forrest. I'll tell you, there's a lot of misdirection and a lot of different stuff here. Both of these coaches throw a lot of hooks at you.
Well, that's Nagel style, really, in Ashland. We're going to spread you out a little more. Don't go so much tackle to tackle with a power game. We're going to go ahead and do some counters, some so-called reverses, but off-tackle stuff. And that's just the way they are. That's philosophy. As you see here, they're going trips left.
Trips left. Joel Smith, the only running back. A minute 40 left here in this first quarter. 7-0. Roseburg on top. Mason in motion. Warburton to throw. Great pressure. Got the throw away. Almost picked off by Mikulek. Almost had his second pick of the year. Great pressure, though, coming from that line. of Roseburg, and Werben had to get rid of it under great duress.
Well, Werben got really his first hit of the game, which I've seen so far. Again, Ashland just spreading things out, straight drop back, looking for man-to-man coverage, which he got. But he does get a little heat from Buck Forrest, as you mentioned, that the tackle for the Roseburg Indians. And right now, I'm seeing Werben throw the ball awfully high. All of his throws have been high. That means he's not planting his feet. He's not bending his legs a little bit. Maybe he's still concerned about that shoulder, but doesn't look like the same guy I've seen on film.
You saw number 62, Chris Cummings. He's in a tackle spot. He's looking to go long, throws it up for grabs, and now there's going to be a flag there, folks. Yep. Yeah, no question about that. As Jed Brewer's called for the interference, Gabe Stevens was the intended receiver, and quite honestly, he had the catch probably for a touchdown if there wasn't the contact.
Oh, he had 6 points. You're absolutely right, Scott. And again, Jimmy Werben kind of falling back, felt a little pressure. There was a little pump and go. He takes a little three-step, but as you see, the pressure was there. He had to back off and get a lot on it. And as you say, Jed Brewer, you got to turn around as defensive back, turn around and make the play. You can't face guard a receiver. And in high school football, it's only a 10-yard penalty with the first down, so the ball won't go down to the 1-yard line.
And hang in there, young Jed Brewer. There's a lot of football to be played here in this football game. It's the state championship. You know, emotions and adrenaline are running high.
Well, he had to make the play like that. I mean, the guy, he was going to catch the ball if he wasn't there anyway, and he realized not a bad play. It's only 10 yards and first down.
First down and 10, the ball now to the 13-yard line. Mason again goes in motion. Looks like much the same play. This time, though, the handoff to Smith. The big guy rambles inside to the 5-yard line. The big 5'11", 200-yard senior, two-way starter, Joel Smith, number 2 rusher on the year, has 4 touchdown runs this season. And he's a strong, punishing runner.
As you watch Smith come towards us with Sharonis making the pull, this play was set up again by that formation earlier. They went trips with the motion by Mason, gave Nagel an opportunity to see, okay, what kind of coverage are you going to play us? If they're going to play that man coverage 1-3, we're going to run this counter.
Stevens to the right, Kester to the left. Contreras slot right. Second down and 2, the ball just outside the 5, and now I believe we have a delay of game.
Yeah.
Werben really looking things over, and I think he just took too long.
Well, there's no play clock in high school football. Some place they have. I know U of O here at Eugene Autzen Stadium, they have the clock, but it's not on. So the quarterbacks can't tell, do I have 10 seconds, 5 seconds left on my play clock, or just 25 to 30 seconds, and that's just a thing. You got to have that mental clock in your mind, and Jimmy Werben should know that.
It is tough when there's nothing to look at, though. There's no doubt about that. So it's going to be now second down and 7, the ball back to the 10-yard line. Ashland with a drive that's been kept alive thanks to some Roseburg penalties, but still Ashland trying to get in here and get into the end zone and tie it up here before the end of the first quarter. Mason moves over tight on the right side. Now Kester goes in motion. They fake the handoff to him. Smith is given the ball out of the backfield. And I think the very first guy to start to mess up that play a little bit was Matt Brock, 77. He was kind of back there and then slowed him down until the cavalry arrived.
Charles was there, as well as Kirkendall. Jeff Kirkendall, that 6', 210-pound junior, came up and made a nice little play. You know, in between tackles, Roseburg stays pretty much zone. They're going to play their little techniques, and their assignments are hit the gaps. We're going to hit the gaps. Don't get fooled by the motion or how they're set up. So between tackle and tackle, you're pretty well assured you're going to get good assignments by these Indians, and they're very disciplined. You don't see too many third and bell teams that aren't disciplined.
No, and I don't believe we're going to get this play off before the quarter comes to an end. Now the clock ticks down, and referee Vic Gorzalski says, nope, we better stop for just a moment. So we've come to the end of the first 12 minutes here in Eugene. The Ashland Grizzlies, the Roseburg Indians. Well, the only scoring came right here. It was the big guy Bodenhammer for the Roseburg. But how about the catch by Kester as Ashland tries to come back?
What do you care about? What do you worry about? Where do you look for answers? The Oregonian, practically indispensable.
Courage is the most important attribute of a lawyer. Robert F. Kennedy. The law firm of Black, Chapman, Weber, and Stevens understands the commitment it takes to tackle a tough job, especially when one false step could destroy months of painstaking work. Black, Chapman, Weber, and Stevens, your personal advocate.
Mount Ashland's the place to be this winter, and there's no safer way to get here than in a new all-wheel drive Volvo sedan, now the official car of Mount Ashland. Hi, I'm Greg Sorensen, General Manager at Southern Oregon Volvo, and I'd like to personally invite you to drive one of the safest cars ever built. Right now, when you buy any new Volvo, you'll receive 2 full season passes to Mount Ashland. Come test drive the official automobile of Mount Ashland today at Southern Oregon Subaru Volvo Mitsubishi.
There is Roseburg, Oregon, about 75 miles down I-5 south of Eugene, and that's the home, of course, of the Roseburg Indians, and their fans have to be pretty happy with the way things went in this first quarter as Roseburg has a 7-0 lead. However, the Ashland fans are on their feet because it's 3rd down and 6 on the 9-yard line as we start the second period. Mason in motion, comes back, Weber to throw. He's under pressure, throws it. I think he's going to throw it away, and he does. Now, that's a nice, smart play. If he had nobody open, just get rid of it. But now it brings up a 4th down and 6, the ball on the 9. And both of these teams we mentioned have good kicking games.
They do.
So I would not be surprised now to see Sean Sharofsky come in to try a field goal. Sharofsky has made 4 of 5 on the year. His long is 35 yards. He has done a nice job making a couple in the playoffs. Had a 28-yarder against McKay in the first-round victory and a 35-yarder in the quarterfinal win against Sunset. He also kicked field goals in his last 2 games of the regular season against Crater and South Medford. The spot is on the 16, a 26-yarder. The spot was good.
Got it.
The kick is up, and it is good.
Nice.
Sean Sharofsky puts the Ashland Grizzlies on the scoreboard for the first time today as we start the second quarter with some offense. And I really thought coming into this one, Neil, we would see a great defensive battle. These two teams defensively have been outstanding the second half of the season and into the playoffs. And, you know, it's not like they're running up and down the field here necessarily, but we have seen the ability to get the ball down into the end zone and to get some points on the scoreboard. Let's go down on the field to Bob Akamian.
Well, once again this year, the Dairy Farmers of Oregon have honored the top academic teams in the state of Oregon. These are teams with tremendous combined grade point averages. The top football team GPA in the state was Mountain View of Bend with a team GPA of 3.42. Check out some of these other numbers. Crescent Valley girls cross country, a perfect 4.0. Toledo boys cross country, very good. Junction City, the top volleyball GPA. Sprague girls, LeGrand boys soccer. Young athletes that do very well in the classroom as well as on the field. Scott?
Well, that's what it's all about, student athletes. A lot of times people tend to forget that. But all those fans up there should be very proud of their student athletes that are playing football here today for the state championship in the football arena. But they also do a nice job in the classroom. Kicking off, Sharofsky will kick it, and J.J. Wolford and Conway Bixby are back deep to take it on for Roseburg. They're back at the 5, and they're going to try to avoid kicking into those two guys. Picked up here by Pavlonis, and he gets a big return. Oh, I'm sorry, Bodenhammer, I believe. Yeah, Bodenhammer. I think I said Pavlonis. I got my 34s mixed up. My apology. Bodenhammer with a nice return gets it back to the 42. You know, the Washington Huskies are going to try and turn around their preseason misfortunes with a matchup against the Aggies of New Mexico State. Todd McCullough, going to be hard to stop for the Aggies front line. NCAA Hoops live next Saturday at 7 right here on Fox Sports Northwest. 21-yard return for Paul Bodenhammer on the squib kick, gets it to the 42. It'll be 1st and 10 Roseburg. And now the Grizzlies will try to dig in defensively. We're here early in the second quarter. 7-3 Roseburg on top. Under pressure, and he's in trouble. He gets something out of nothing, gets a yard or two. Linderman just didn't have anywhere to throw that football. And again, and one of the things Thurman Bell talked about is he's a smart kid. He will not throw it away or throw it into coverage. He won't make a mistake. He'll eat the football if he has to.
I want to know, are you going to open up that?
We're here at Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon. It's the OSAA US Bank 4A Football Championships presented by United Rentals. Scott Lynn, Neil Lomax, and Bob Akamian with you here on a beautiful day in the Willamette Valley. And it's beautiful for these two teams as they play for the title. Bixby in motion. Hand off to Bodenhammer. Nothing doing there. The Ashland defense, that front four, pretty darn tough.
Yeah, you have a couple all-conference guys in there with Hanson and Mason. It's no surprise again to see Thurman Bell keep this ball on the ground so far. You're talking about 16 running plays and only 3 passes for Roseburg, where Ashland, on their hands, balanced pretty good. They got 7 passes and 6 runs. So that's the difference between a Thurman Bell team and a Jim Nagel team.
There's Bell looking on. By the way, you saw Hanson, number 75, back in there on the defensive line for Ashland. 3rd down and 6. Linderman to throw. Throws, and is it? Nope, he trapped it. An excellent effort there by Bixby coming out of the backfield. Couldn't get it. Punting situation coming up.
And then Ashland's lucky there. They had, talking about Roseburg, Pat Anderson was right down the hole. It was kind of a cover 2 situation where the safeties rotated over to make sure they were covered over there. And Pat Anderson, scotch-free right down the middle. And I'll tell you, the punter, who is also the quarterback, Kevin Linderman, will hear about that when he comes to the sideline.
Back to receive is Pavlonis as Ryan Holt comes in to do the punting. Good snap and a pretty good punt. This is a return ball. Takes it inside the 20. Nice return. Pavlonis across the 40. Gets to him, and a late flag coming in. Don't go away. A late flag coming in as the ball returned to the 43. It was in the area where there was some blocking going on. We'll see. A 35-yard punt by Ryan Holt.
Yeah, it's always against that return team. Usually it's going to be a hold or a clip. That's the 2 favorite ones, is someone's getting hands on somebody. And there it is.
Yep, Pavlonis had returned to 22 yards, but maybe that's one of the reasons why.
That's usually the case when there's a very good return. Somebody on that return team got a little away with some hands.
We'll take a quick break and then come right back. 10:07 left here in the first half. Roseburg leading 7-3. Ashland with the football, trying to get ahead.
Now available for the first time ever on home video, the best of the Dean Martin Celebrity Roasts.
What a night. Who are we honoring?
Jokes, jabs, insults, and put-downs. That's what made these roasts hilarious and makes this tape a must-have for your video library.
Johnny Carson is a comedian who is seen every night in millions of bedrooms all over America. And that's why his last wife left him.
This tape features over 50 stars and over 100 minutes of the funniest, most outrageous laughs ever seen on television.
How sweet it is.
She wants to dye her hair back to its original color, but she can't remember it.
It takes many years to be a great comedian.
Sure does. You ain't reached that year yet.
You know, some performers never have a night like this. Those are the lucky ones.
Call now to order the best of the Dean Martin Celebrity Roasts for only $19.95. It's not sold in any store, so call and order right now.
Welcome back to the OSAA US Bank 4A State Football Championship, presented by United Rentals. Scott Lynn, Neil Lomax, Bob Akamian with you. We're in the second quarter. 10 minutes left here in this first half. Ashland with the football, trailing 7-3. Jimmy Werbin trying to lead his team. Play selection, Neil talked about it a moment ago. Pretty even there for Ashland. Roseburg likes to run. The throw out of the backfield to Austin Mason, and he stepped out of bounds over there, short of the first down. He's out at about the 33-yard line. Pickup of about 4 or 5.
Good decision that time by Jimmy Werbin. I'm not going to comment on every time he throws, but I'm really concerned about, and I think he is as well, is about his shoulder and how he's planting his feet and technically throwing. I talked to Jim Nagel before the game. He said he's not the kind of quarterback that really is sure of his decision-making process. In other words, they're going to call some simple 1-2 pattern routes for him. Not a lot of 3-4 guys run all over the place. He's got to read everything. He's going to pretty much stay to a 1 or 2 pattern route.
Pick up a 5 on the play, 2nd and 5. He's thrown 7 touchdown passes in the playoffs. And that play is very close to a first down.
Pavlonis.
Ashland, that's Pavlonis. He got very close before being ridden out.
5 yards.
Gain of 5, very close. Mikulik again was one of the guys putting the hit on him over there. I believe it's going to be, well, it depends on the spot again.
How about these running backs we're watching? Bixby and Pavlonis, Scott, from both respective teams. Bixby 140 pounds. Pavlonis, who looks a lot bigger than that in pads, obviously. He's only listed 150 pounds. Again, that's that high school thing we mention every time we've been doing these state games, Scott. It's the heart. As we see the first down, these guys got huge hearts. You can't just go on their height and weight in high school ball. It's what size heart they have. These kids got some big ones.
They really do. And again, a lot of them play both ways on both teams. And Ashland's defense was about as impressive as I've seen in last week's semifinal win against Jesuit. Jesuit, one of the top teams in the state, knocked off. They were bigger and stronger at every position. But guys like Joel Smith, who has the ball right there, just said, no, we're going to still win this football game because we're from the SOC, baby.
Yeah. There's some tough kids down south, no question about that. You know, Medford, as we see, number 23. Severs. Dan Severs is a junior. He's got an interception this year too. You know, the Roseburg defense had, I think they get like 4 shutouts so far this year, Scott.
Yeah,
is that
4,
correct?
2 in the playoffs. First 2 rounds of the playoffs, they shut out their opponents.
They had a headache going against Staley from Tualatin last week, and all these players were had a lot of bumps and bruises.
Yeah. Over 200 yards.
Timberwolf team.
He may be the best running back in the state, with all respect to Gresham's Nathaniel Guard. Staley was impressive. Fumble! Football's on the turf. Let's see. Now I think he got it back. Yep. But great effort there. Byron Riddicker, and I think he's the one who knocked it free.
A little play action here, and you see Mason's going out for a pass, as well as Kester, and a good play both on Charles and Forrest. And Renneker, who's what? I mean, he's probably gonna be all state this year anyway. He's all SOC. Defensive player of the year, as you see. The guy's got a lot of sacks too. He's already recorded about 5 sacks this year. That's difficult to do when you're a nose guard against the tackle guard, is get a lot of sacks.
He's been all SOC the last 2 years, and you're pretty good if you're all league in that conference. 3rd down and 9, and a whistle just before the snap, and I believe we've got another delay of game. And so Ashland going to be penalized again. You know, Ashland has the delay of game penalty.
And it's not a false start, or you see that in the pros a lot in college football. The tackle jumps or tight end jumps or a back motions the wrong way. This is just a time issue, and I don't know if this has, I think it has a lot to do with not practicing. You don't practice till Friday. Your time, I don't care if you are the senior, you've been through 12 games already. You don't practice during the week. That clock, somehow that clock mentally gets distorted. You're not the same player as you are.
Ashland 4 penalties, 30 yards. Roseburg 2 for 25. And this will be now a 3rd down and 14 play. Smith, the only running back. And they hand to him on Renneker. And yeah, Renneker comes in and says, I am the man. And the fans up there in the orange and black agree with him.
Yeah, we know you the man. Cast or no cast. Guy's a player.
6 foot, 245. Played a little guard on offense too last year, but I think has been primarily a defensive player this year. So 4th down punting situation, and Austin Mason comes on to punt again. Morrison, one of the 2 guys back for Roseburg. And Jed Brewer back as well. Oh, high snap. This is trouble. I think he's going to be able to get the punt off. No, he's going to. Let's see, he's going to try to run. That's not a good idea. Now he gets rid of it. Oh, what a nice job. And coming up to make the tackle from behind for Ashland is Gabe Stevens. Amazing play by Austin Mason. He was thinking of taking the safety, then said, I think I can still kick this thing. We'll take a quick break and come right back. Unbelievable action here in the 4A championship game. Way to go, Austin Mason. Everybody, it's Roseburg and Ashland playing for the 4A championship. Roseburg on top 7-3 here in the 2nd quarter, 7.5 minutes remaining. There's Thurman Bell talking to the Indians here. We have timeout on the field. That last play pretty impressive on the punt, wasn't it?
Yeah. Austin Mason does all league both ways, but I'll tell you what, Scott, what presence of mind for an athlete to make a play like that.
Well, Natalie Williams and the Portland Power of the American Basketball League take on Jennifer Azzi and the rest of the rival San Jose Lasers. The Power expected by many to contend for the ABL championship. Watch them on the road to that goal next Sunday. Live at 1 right here on Fox Sports Northwest. Natalie Williams, by the way, last night picked up her 1,000th career rebound. She's the first women's pro player to have 1,000 career rebounds, and she is
she's a player.
Yeah, she's tough inside. So we have a moment here to say that this has been a pretty good one. Now, last year, of course, Neil, we had that up and down game with McNary and Beaverton. McNary winning 51-48, 1,100 yards in offense, 800 yards through the air. You knew with Roseburg in back and their whole timing's off. We'll see how they do. Roseburg with the football, 1st and 10, the ball on the 23-yard line. Seven minutes, 15 seconds. And the hand, the pitch out to Bixby. He gets to the 20, pickup of about 3. Conway Bixby, the ball carrier. Against Ashland the first time around, Bixby had just 9 carries, 58 yards, and had a touchdown run. He averaged 6.5 yards per carry, which isn't bad. Today, 7 rushes, 58 yards, so he's got the same amount, but there's still a half of this football game to play.
And he's only a sophomore. We talked about Ryan Poe injuring that knee in the summer drills before the season even started. He would probably be their starting tailback, but they haven't missed too many beats with Bixby back there.
Nope. Deuce Kiter coming to the left. Anderson goes in motion. Hand off to Bixby. Well covered. Austin Mason came up to grab an ankle.
Bixby picks up 2 yards.
Picked up a couple. It's going to be a 3rd down play coming up. And really, you're in a territory, as we talked about earlier, where you got 2 plays to go for the 1st down.
That's the theory here. Even though they have Ryan Holt, who's not a bad field goal kicker either. The kids make about 3 field goals so far in the playoffs. So, but still, you're right. This is 4 down territory. They're going to run the ball. I'd be very, very surprised here to see some form of play action or a pass. You're going to see an option again or a quick counter.
Stevens right, Morrison to the left. Out of the eye, Bodenhammer and Bixby. Play action to Bixby.
Well, they want it all.
And now there's trouble. Linderman gets out of trouble. Hey, how about that? Linderman looked like he should have maybe thrown it away, but he still found a way to get back almost to the line of scrimmage.
Well, like I said, watch for the play action here. That's probably what Thurman Bell will. Oh, that's what I said? Oh,
yeah.
And again, it surprises me. It really does. I think they try to catch Ashland thinking the same thing I was thinking. It's in 4 down territory. They're going to run the ball here on 3rd down. Maybe had 4th and 1 and go for it. And now this sets up, obviously, you don't have 4th and 1. You have 4th and 6. Yep. That's Ryan Holt time.
Ryan Holt coming on. He was the all-SOC kicker. 3 of 5 on the year. Had a 35-yarder last week against Tualatin. This is a 35-yarder right here. Would tie his season best.
Got it flush.
And it is good. Yes, indeed. Up and through. Jay Kester just missed blocking that thing. But Holt got it up and through. And Roseburg is up by a touchdown one more time. 10-3 is your score. Just inside 5 minutes left here in the 1st half. Holt, by the way, a great story. He's a soccer player. He is a guy who missed a lot of the football practices as he was with the soccer team, but now he's part of this team in a big way. Ryan Holt, 10-3, Roseburg.
Quitter.
4 minutes, 56 seconds left. Ashland leading Roseburg. Check that. Roseburg leading Ashland 10-3. We're here in Eugene, and after the 5-play, 15-yard scoring drive, Holt with the field goal. It makes it a 10-3 game. Roseburg on top. Going back to get it, this is Jesse Jones looking for some blocking. Tackle. No, he's still on his feet. Now he is tackled. Didn't really get much out of that. Coming up, excellent coverage again by Roseburg. Jesse Jones just didn't make that develop the way that maybe it could have. Only a 7-yard return. Let's go down on the field to Bob Akamian.
Well, you know, when football teams have long postseasons, the cheerleading squads have long postseasons. I'm with Ashland's 2 captains. You are?
Carenza.
And?
Jenny.
And I know part of what you do is make snacks for the team each week. Did you do special championship snacks?
No, actually, we didn't. By the time playoff season came around, we just sort of gave up, but we've been doing it for the other teams too. So we have basketball season's already started, so we have all those teams to do right now, plus the other seasons.
Well, your gang's hanging in there right now. Do you think you still have a shot?
Yeah, definitely.
Let's get back to action with Scott and Neal. Thanks, Gal.
All right. Definitely in stereo. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Pavlonis, the ball carrier. Not a lot doing. Gain of 1 or 2. Second down play coming up. Total yards thus far today. It's Roseburg about 2-1, but that's not surprising. They kind of went right down the field that first drive.
Yeah, they maintained some good time possession drives, and I still looked at that's going to be a big play by Austin Mason. What he did on that punt to making that could have been easy, a touchdown or a safety. It could have changed the complexion of this game. Yeah, that's going to be a big play.
Mason lines up to the left side. Here's the tight end. Kester wide to the right, now goes in motion. Handoff goes to the running back, Joel Smith. And Roseburg stacks it up. He gets very close. In fact, I think he got across the 25, and he did, almost to the 26-yard line. Going to be about 3 yards shy of the first down. Coming up at halftime, Wes Ediger, the OSAA Executive Director, will be our guest. We will talk a little bit about some of the fall highlights around the OSAA, and of course a very special halftime feature that you'll want to stay tuned for. And of course we'll have the exciting second half of action as well for the state championship, the Class 4A title on the line here in Eugene. Werbin throws long. That arm looks fine. Kester. Touchdown coming. Jay Kester. Any flags? No, sir. Touchdown, Ashland Grizzlies. Jay Kester with his 11th touchdown reception of the year. That is his longest touchdown catch of the season. He had a 70-yard catch against Roseburg during the regular season. He adds to that one right here, and with a point after coming up, it would be a tie game. Jay Kester, the senior.
Well, Jay Kester makes a great play here, but obviously the throw from the quarterback was impresses me. You know, Werbin all week did not throw a ball over 20 yards. That ball was in the air for 40 to 45 yards. This guy's no stranger to the end zone either. He made some big plays against Jesuit. He's made big plays all year. And I just appreciate really what Jimmy Wilburn did there. He had a short route open. He decided to go long for the big one. They converted.
Sean Sharofsky with the point after. Got it up and through. He has made his last 8 point after attempts. Jay Kester, 3 catches, 92 yards, and a touchdown. The Ashland fans are on their feet as for the first time today, the Grizzlies have found the end zone. They, of course, had a field goal earlier, but now with 3:11 left here in the first half, we are tied at 10. How about one more look at that last play? That was kind of fun.
Yeah, nice play action. Number 71 for Roseburg. You'll see him, Richie Charles takes the bite right here. You'll see him flash across your screen. That gets Werbin the outside, but Mason's wide open the left flat. Smith was wide open the left flat for the first down, but no. Jimmy Werbin says, I'm going to test my arm out. I can count on my guy, number 83, Kester. Bingo, bango, touchdown.
Ryan Morrison unfortunately falls down on the play. He was the guy defending, and Kester was left wide open, and the first team all-SOC player with his 11th touchdown catch of the year, and he is over 1,000 yards receiving this year. He now has 50 catches. What a senior season he's had.
Well, the big strike potential is back. I mean, Ashland relied on that all year long. In the first encounter when they played Roseburg and Ashland, you know, Werman and those guys, they scored 3 touchdowns right in the first quarter to go ahead of those guys, so it wasn't a close game.
You see number 65, Brian Morris, he's actually been handling the kickoff duties and been squibbing each time. We were told that Sharofsky would do the kickoff duties, but now he decides to kick it. Kind of a pooch kick, if you will.
Very deep.
Goes to the 25-yard line, and it's going to be pretty good field position for Roseburg as Dan Sievers brings it back, gets it to about the 33-yard line, where it'll be first down and 10. Let's go down to the field to Bob Acamia.
Yeah, we're going to get into the Wayback Machine right now and take you back to the last time it was 2 Southern Oregon Conference teams in the final. The year was 1995. Roseburg played some crushing defense in postseason, and they did it to their rivals from Eagle Point. 17-12 was the final, and Thurman Bell lived up to his word. He let his seniors shave his head. I think it took this long for it to all grow back.
Well, he looks better with the hair, I think. First and 10 now, Roseburg with it. Play action, it goes to option rather, around the side, and that is Bixby. He's a tough guy to bring down. The football is loose, and Johnny on the spot. Roseburg still has the football. Bixby coughed up the football, but it is recovered.
Pat Anderson got it, Scott.
I could not see. Yes, it was Pat Anderson.
Number 9, recovered that ball, and he was the right man, right spot. And again, even though there's 3 minutes left, don't think that Roseburg won't just sit and do what they do best, and that's run that veer option. Bixby's very good at that. With his speed, he makes a big pickup. There's plenty of time with 3 minutes left in this half.
Did you see Pavlona strip the ball from behind here? Watch him take a swipe at it. That's the way they teach you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you're behind, you're tackled from behind, you slap at the ball.
There's Anderson. He recovered the fumble at the 49-yard line of the Indians. Clock continuing to run now. Linderman to throw, goes right over the middle, and boy, that is stopped. That's Anderson with it, but I believe that was big. No, let me see. Couldn't check for sure. 72, that's who I thought. Tyson George making the stop.
Big Tyson George middle screen.
Yeah, he's 4th on the team in tackles, 65, a team high 6 sacks, but he read that pretty well and made the stop on Anderson.
The passing that Roseburg will do will be very conservative. And that's the style of not just Linderman, but it comes down from Thurman Bell and their philosophy from Pop Warner on. These quarterbacks have been playing this system ever since the 5th and 6th grade. They know what to do in these circumstances.
Bit of a breeze starting to pick up here, blowing around Autzen Stadium. On the 2nd down 8 to throw. Wide open receiver. He's got him, and that is Morrison, and he has the first down inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. Brian Morrison came into this game with 10 catches. His season long was a 43-yard touchdown catch against Grants Pass during the regular season.
Well, Morrison, the outside receiver, it's a straight zone defense played by Ashland. Quant, the cornerback's off. Linderman reads it. A simple curl route. Hey, first down. Plenty of time left. There's a minute 46. The clock's ticking down, but a lot of time for Roseburg.
And I believe Zach Hassel came up to make the stop. Linderman 5 of 7, 65 yards. Clock running again. A minute 35 left, first half. Linderman keeps it. Great pressure. And I believe that was Smith, Joel Smith, the linebacker, shooting through to be the first to get him before he got some help. And I think a timeout's going to be called now by Roseburg. And a good call here by Thurman Bell. A minute 20 left on the scoreboard clock. There's Zach Hassel. He's the guy who did not practice much this week. A big secret. We didn't know about it until today when he showed up and said, no, he's a little banged up, but he's playing because the 4A title's on the line. There is Ashland head coach Jim Nagel, who's come down from the press box to join his team here in the final minute and a half of this first half, as his defense trying to dig in and keep Roseburg out of the end zone. A minute 20 left in the second quarter. 10-10 football game. 2nd down 9. Ball at the 26. Bixby goes in motion. Linderman to throw. Has time. Finds his receiver wide open again. That'll be a first down to the 10-yard line. And there again, that was Jed Brewer. Brewer's come up big on the receiving end a couple of times today.
Nothing fancy about their passing game. Bixby goes in the flat that stretches the zone. Ashland's deciding now where to stay back and play a 2-deep zone because you haven't crossed that 20-yard line, or as we call the red zone, football terminology. Now you'll see Ashland go man-to-man all across the board and keep about 8 guys in that box area between tackle to tackle.
1st and goal at the 10. I mean, it's right on the 10. They have to get to the end zone. No more first downs. Out of the eye. Linderman still on his feet. Oh, this ball's loose, and again Roseburg. I'll tell you, the kids are very aware when that ball's on the turf. Another great hustle play. Bodenhammer, I believe. Yep, Bodenhammer comes up to recover the fumble.
Linderman stays outside on this veer option that he has a choice on. I think he scores. Watch him pull it back. The tackle commits. He stumbles a little bit. See, he couldn't get to the outside. So he decides to cut in. You cut in, you're going to get a lot of white shirts.
Steve Cornell caused the fumble. Now timeouts left. Of course, Roseburg with a couple. There's 17 seconds left. Play action. Coming to Anderson, end zone, in and out of the hands of Anderson. He couldn't make the diving catch. So 12 seconds remain on the scoreboard clock. And Roseburg will have time for one more play, and then still could call timeout and kick a field goal if need be.
Doubles to the right, but look who's covering Anderson here. Who's the man that scored that touchdown in the last series for Ashland? Kester. Kester is there. It had to be a great throw, and it was actually a really good throw by Linderman. Took him out of the end zone.
Kester starts at the right corner position, and he is all SOC first team. Guess he was on the left corner on that one, wasn't he?
As you face the defense, right, Scott, yep. Left corner. All right, the big key here is the time. You got third down. You got third down as you see what's coming on the half. Go ahead, Scott.
Again, Wes Ediger will be joining us, the OSAA Executive Director, to tell us about his organization, the fall highlights. And there have been some outstanding efforts around the state of Oregon. And of course,
if I was Roseburg, I like that still flat. Stretch the zone out, bring your wide receiver inside over the middle someplace in the end zone. You got to get in the end zone. It's really 3rd and 9, and they can't afford a first down. You got to throw the ball in the end zone. And definitely no sacks.
Anderson in motion, Brewer to the right. Quick pass coming out of the backfield. This is Anderson. Touchdown with 8 seconds left. Pat Anderson with his team-high 8th touchdown reception of the year. You know, one of the great stories is these kids are playing, many of them are their first years as starters, and Pat Anderson is one of those guys. He was a JV player a year ago, but he is now team-high 8 catches. He is the leading receiver on this Roseburg team, and now the Indians are back on top.
And I think Roseburg actually got what they wanted. They know Ashland very well by playing them. They got man-to-man coverage, and Contreras did not get over there to cover his man.
Ryan Holt on to try the point after. It's up and right through the uprights, isn't it? Very nicely done. So with exactly 8 seconds left, Roseburg scores to take the 17-10 lead. You know, ironically, in the game at Civic Stadium in the quarterfinals against Lake Ridge had totally dominated Roseburg in the first half. Roseburg scored, I believe it was with 7 seconds remaining, then came out and dominated the second half. Lake Ridge getting just 2 first downs and 3 touchdown passes for Linderman, and Roseburg came back to win 28-14 in dominating fashion. But they have that ability to strike late and take care of the football and get it done.
Well, you take away the big play by Ashland, and Roseburg does dominate. They got man-to-man coverage, 33. Matt Contreras for Ashland did not come over in motion. You see him throwing his head and arms out, number 33. That was not a good coverage on the Ashland Grizzlies. And just that just really puts the dagger in your heart emotionally. Momentum definitely switched. You can feel it going to the Ashland side after that big play. Now Roseburg comes back, bam, within 2.5 minutes. Hey, we got it right back, baby.
And Ashland, by the way, gets the football to start the second half. So that's something to keep in mind. Is if they don't run it back right here, they'll still have a chance to get the football to start the third quarter.
And that was number 33, Matt Contreras, right there, who's going to return this. But if I was Roseburg, Ryan Holt squib this baby. What's he going to do?
And he does, and it goes
right to the shortstop zone. Yep. That's an error, isn't it?
Jesse Jones will get an E6 for that one. It's well, so there'll still be 8 seconds left, and Ashland will have time for 1 play. Tonight at 10 o'clock, it's Fox Sports News primetime, college football scores and highlights, the NHL news, NFL highlights, your hometown teams. Yes, we are there. Fox Sports News primetime tonight at 10 on Fox Sports Northwest. Some of the fans, the Roseburg fans, and the game's over here, girls. Girls.
Looking for the senior guys. What are you talking about?
Is that what it is? All right.
Senior girls give the senior guys. As Ashland's just run it out. Smart play here.
Yep.
Don't get anybody hurt. Take the knee going to halftime. It's a ball game.
And again, Ashland will get the football to start the second half. So pretty entertaining first half. Fans of Roseburg and Ashland have to be pretty pleased. There's nothing but good, strong competition on the football field. No serious injuries to this point. Anybody's been shaken up, I think, has come back on the field to play, and that's all you can ask for. Give yourself a chance. You see some of the big crowd here at Autzen Stadium. It is halftime. Roseburg leading Ashland 17-10. Let's go down on the field to Bob Akamian.
All right, we're with Coach Thurman Bell. We saw you grind it out on the first possession of a nice 2-minute drill. That's some pretty good diversity of offense.
Well, kids made some catches there. We missed one earlier. We had a couple opportunities to score. We let get away, but got a field goal out of it down there, and then that was a big touchdown right there for us.
Obviously, you had a lot of momentum early, and Ashland can always hit you with the big play, and I guess Kester's the guy you expect.
Well, we knew that, and their quarterback got outside, and boy, if he has a sore arm, he needs to have a sore arm every week.
All right, thanks, Coach. 24 minutes to go. Let's go back upstairs to Scott and Neal.
All right, thank you very much, Bob and Coach Thurman Bell, and both teams headed to the locker room to talk things over. Well, the first half has come to an end in exciting fashion. Second quarter, some real highlights. Warbin shows his arms okay. Jake Kester, are you open? Yeah, hey, there you are, touchdown. And that tied it at the moment, but then the equalizer came for Roseburg in the final seconds of the first half. Touchdown to Pat Anderson, 17-10 is your halftime score.
Running the ball awfully well, and field position really has hurt Ashland.
Yeah, really has. Let's check out some of the first half highlights. You know, the second quarter, there's a lot of scoring going on, and it was a nice play here as Werbin shows that his arm is just fine as he throws to Jay Kester. 74 yards, their longest combination of the season.
Well, and the ball was in the air for about 45 of those 74 yards, Scott. And that's what really impressed me. I was concerned as well as Jimmy. How well can he throw the ball downfield? He showed right there he can.
Welcome back. We're ready to start the third quarter of the OSAA U.S. Bank 4A State Football Championship presented by United Rentals. And it is Ashland and Roseburg in a good one. The Indians leading 17-10. And you know, you talked a little bit about field position, but before we talk about that, look at this as we check the first half stats. Passing yards about the same. In fact, Roseburg with more yards passing, Neil.
Well, that 70 of that came down that last series with 3 minutes left, and that's why it's a little overstated there with the passing by Roseburg. But what showed me anything besides the time of possession, why Roseburg is dominating this game, his field position. The average start for the 5 possessions that Ashland's had is their own 22-yard line. That shows a lot for Roseburg's defense, putting them in a hole. A lot difficult to score when you're in your own territory half the time.
Absolutely true. We're at Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon. It is the 4A championship game. Scott Lynn along with Neil Lomax and Bob Akamian bringing you all the action here on Fox Sports Northwest. We're glad that you're with us. The Ashland players hand in hand hoping for some good things to happen for their football team here in the second half. Ashland to get the football to start this third quarter.
Now, a lot of coaches overstate this, but it is true. I played football for a few years and understand that this is probably the most important series of the game. You get that ball back coming out of halftime, you at least want to move the ball 3 or 4 first downs before you give it up, or obviously you want to score, but you don't want to go 3 and out. Momentum shift is definitely back on Roseburg's side. Ashland needs it back.
Talked earlier about a little bit of a wind kicking up, but not so bad right now, but the ball did fall off the tee there, and Brian Holt has to replace it and get ready. Matt Contreras is the deep man. Number 33, Contreras averaging 19 yards per kickoff return this year. Actually, Pavlonis has 8 returns and almost 23 yards per on the season. But this is Contreras taking it about to 12. He's got a blocker too, gets almost back to the 30-yard line. And I'll tell you, that was a great save by Dustin Mikulik, who grabbed an ankle and held on. Otherwise, you might have seen Matt Contreras go a long, long way. 17-yard return could have been longer. So Ashland with the football, and the adjustments that the coaches make at halftime. I've been so impressed with both Jim Nagel and Thurman Bell throughout the playoffs. But
Roseburg shouldn't change anything. No. As you see, the first 20 plays, amazingly, they had to go 67 yards. The last 2 plays, all that was a Kester's long bomb.
They go to Kester again, and Ryan Morrison wraps him up, but not before he gets the first down out to the 40-yard line. Coming right out throwing, Werbin has shown that he can throw the football, and he can throw it long, separated shoulder or not. 4 of 10, 111 yards, and that long touchdown to Jay Kester.
And that's a nice call right there to start off. A simple 3-step drop, zip it out there. The corner's off a little bit. Ryan Morrison is their best corner. He's got 2 interceptions this year for the Roseburg Indians. He will be matched up against Kester. He was the first half. You'll see him matched up all in the second half on number 83.
Just underway in the third quarter. Roseburg leading Ashland by a touchdown. Smith moving around in the backfield a bit. And the pitch. And nicely conceded. I'll tell you what, that's a great run and play there.
Well, Pavlonis did a nice job. They spread it out a little bit with Smith making that motion, Scott, but Pavlonis does a nice job of kicking that out. They had the tackles there. Brock and Forrest had him contained. He slipped outside. And again, the key to Ashland's offense is where is Mason? Austin Mason's in motion. He goes wide. He's in tight. Roseburg's concern of where is number 18, and that set up that running play.
Pavlonis, you saw 5 carries. He is the leading rusher on this team for the season. Came in with 729 yards rushing on 146 carries. But not far behind is Joel Smith, the fullback, 133 carries for 702 yards. Trips to the right side.
It's man-to-man cover, Scott. They're playing man here. If they get what they want, they have a guy open.
Werbin rolls right. That ball is tipped, and it is picked off. Jesse Jones, check that. Ryan Poe with the intercept. Poe still on his feet. The guy with the ACL injury comes up with a big play in the state championship game. Ryan Poe, 3-year starter in the defensive backfield. There is a flag, however, on the play. Wait and see. It was actually in the vicinity of where the receiver was.
Probably post-possession, though. The interception will stand.
I believe you're correct.
And Poe did a good job. Again, I think I couldn't tell when on the original. We'll see if the ball does get tipped or not. Number 43 came in there and made a play. That was Jamie Norton that did tip the ball. Wharton had who he wanted to have open, and that was Kester. Kester was hooking in the zone area when Poe made a great pick.
There you see Werber. That is the first turnover of this football game. The ball's been on the turf a couple of times, but this is the first turnover. And this from a field possession game, you were talking about that earlier. Man, this is a huge penalty.
It really is. This is probably the worst start that Roseburg had. I mean, Roseburg's average drive has started from their own like 48-yard line. So
this is the worst field position they've had.
Yeah.
Starting at the 22.
It was the 25-yard line, so that's 22.
Linderman 7 of 10. Over 100 yards throwing. And that ball in and out of the hands of Austin Mason.
Yeah.
Yep, Mason had his chance. But that ball was coming in a hurry. He wasn't that far from the quarterback who wind up and pitched it hard. Linderman, just a junior, is a letterman. Great intelligence. That's about as close as you'll see to him making a mistake. He really does not make it. He has a very accurate arm. He ad-libs very, very well. We've actually seen that a couple of times here in the first half. We're now in the third quarter. Roseburg leading by 7.
It's a big defensive stand for Ashland. They got to make a stop here.
Handoff right up the middle. Zach Hassel was the first to get to him. Slowed him down a little bit. Finally, Jake Kester comes to finish him off, but there Paul Bodenhammer, who scored the touchdown, the first of the game. He gets a first down, and that is a big, big play for Roseburg.
Oh, Bodenhammer makes a good run, but Richie Charles, Buck Forrest, Alan Bone, Landon Rayburn, Kniebel have done it all year. You mentioned 3 of those offensive linemen are all conference. You have 3 guys on your offensive line making all conference in the SOC. You better run the football.
Big, strong, quick, experienced. Line coach Bob Walker very proud. And look at the blocking here as Linderman scrambles out to midfield. Gets another first down for the Indians. They really do a great job of blocking, and Linderman showing some creativity.
And I said this is very important for Ashland to make this stop here, and this is just their simple veer. Linderman making the reads. That's what he does. I was not a veer option quarterback at Portland State. We threw 60, 70 times a game, but it's reading defense. It's all the quarterback is supposed to do is read defense, whether it's a pass or a run. Linderman does a great job of that.
Bodenhammer and Bixby in the eye. Anderson in motion, going to the right side. Handoff to the fullback. Bodenhammer, he's through the secondary and is down inside the 25. Let's see if he's okay. It looked to me like
lost his shoes, Scott.
Yeah, it looked a little awkward there at the end of that play. Just like the racehorse that he is, he kicked a shoe.
Yeah, not bad run with only 1 Nike on, but again, it's the offensive line. They're just shooting out. Look at the fire block of all these offensive linemen. Rayburn and Forrest, I noticed, really came down low, got the blocks on Hanson and George. That spring Bodenhammer up for a big gain. Look at this guy run. Watch his shoe pop off here.
Absolutely true.
Right there when Pavlonis comes through.
Nick Bakke, number 70, coming back, the left end. He is maybe the fastest player on the team in the 40 at 4.55. Not bad for one of the guys you got up front.
200-pounder, Nick Bakke you're talking about, huh?
Yep.
4.4.
4.5. 4.5. Not bad in the 40. 1st and 10 at the 24. Roseburg with another impressive march. And again, Anderson in motion. Looks like the same play. This time the hand to Bixby. And nothing doing there. Joel Smith, the linebacker, comes up high, but I think there were some guys down low that got him first.
Bixby stopped at the line of scrimmage.
So right at the line of scrimmage, and making the stop there was Ben Holtai. Holtai with the stop, big number 51.
Back to the 25.
200-pounder, 5'10". There's Joel Smith, first team defensive linebacker.
And you made the comment, Scott, their best defensive player is Hassel, the second string quarterback. He made over 91 tackles this year, and he's not playing with his shoulder injury.
8 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 3 caused fumble. He's been very active. And here, quarterback draw. Nothing doing. Well defended, and again, Holtai grabs on and holds on.
Well, Linderman wanted to throw the football. I don't know if this is a called draw or not, but obviously he makes his reads. I saw they had Anderson and Kerdite going right down the middle of the field. He wanted to throw the football. Again, you talked about his intelligence and him seeing things, and that's what Thurman Bell talked about. Kid's very smart, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Gets an incomplete pass, 3-yard gain.
3rd down 8. Ashland fans digging in, saying, come on, guys, hold them. Bixby goes in motion. Rolling to the left side. Now he tucks it. Now he throws. Bodenhammer. 1st down at the 10-yard line. What a play. Bodenhammer was tackled by Pavlonis, the guys who share their tailback spots.
Well, pass run option here for Linderman. I tell you who does a really great job of making this play go are the linemen. I saw Bone, Rayburn, and Forrest just about to go across the line of scrimmage, and all 3 of them kind of scooted back to make sure they knew, because that umpire's job by that line of scrimmage to make sure the linemen do not go downfield, because those offensive linemen thought that Linderman was going to run the football. I think everybody thought he was going to run the football. He pulls up, makes it complete.
What a great drive this has been for Roseburg. Started back at their own 22-yard line. Anderson in motion to throw. Oh, it's going to be a touchdown. Roseburg ups its lead. Linderman runs in from just outside the 10. Kevin Linderman scores, and Roseburg adds to its lead here in the 4A championship game. Linderman for president. At least class president, huh?
Well, in his junior year, too, he's still got another year. But again, the problem comes with the Ashland defensive line. They have to make this play. They get some kind of pursuit and some production coming downfield, but they have to make this play. They had man across the board. The receivers were covered. Linderman just makes a great play.
Linderman is the holder on the kicks. Who does a nice job of getting the spot down. I don't think it's good. Nope, missed it. That was a tough one. Linderman had to pick it up, I think, off the turf, and had a tough time getting the spot, and Holt couldn't get it through. Let's see if that proves costly at some point. 7 minutes, 35 seconds left, 3rd quarter. Roseburg leads Ashland by 13.
And he makes the catch. He crashes into the amazing catch.
Introducing an exciting addition to Mariners home uniforms. Rest stands. 19.99 single game tickets are on sale now, including the first 42 games at Safeco Field. For tickets, stop by Ticketmaster Ticket Centers.
Holding his back. Kid's a tough kid, plays both ways, so I'm sure he won't come out.
Roseburg has really been on a roll ever since losing to Ashland in the regular season, and the roll continues here offensively. 258 yards to 160.
And balanced. Look at the passing yards, and they threw a couple times out. Hey, no panic mode right now, guys. Everybody's here, oh my God, we're down 23-10. Ashland's been here before. This is why they're in the state championship game. Do not panic. Run the stuff that got you here.
This is Pavlonis. Excellent coverage for a moment, but Pavlonis gets a lot out of nothing. There was nothing there, and Chris Pavlonis shows why he was the team's leading rusher. Pavlonis, by the way, always on the field, all the time. He returns punts and kicks, and he starts at free safety.
Well, he starts at free safety defensively. Most of the good athletes will play both ways. But Pavlonis put the freeze frame on Kirkendall and Norton big time. I mean, they had him in their rights. Watch this coming left to right in your screen. Freeze frame. Boom. Yeah. Got a little Three Stooges right there. And missed tackles. Again, that's what we've seen Ashland doing. There's a lot of missed tackles.
He got the 1st down out to the 31 of the Grizzlies. Worben to throw. Quick hitter. Kester with it. 1st down. Across the 40 to the 43-yard line. And you see Worben coming right out throwing. No problem. There's Kester. He had the long touchdown catch, 74 yards in the 1st half. By the way, Kester, those 2 long receptions against Roseburg in the 1st game, 34 yards and 70-yard catches. Number 83 in that game, 4 receptions, 152 yards.
And old Ryan Morrison's about 3 or 4 yards, a little more cushion on Kester this half.
Worben up to 123 yards through the air today. Play action to Pavlonis. Worben coming to the right. Still has time to throw. Threw off that back leg again, as you said. Said Thurman Bell and ended up with it down there. No, I couldn't see who it was. I saw an orange jacket.
Well, he was the only guy open on that one.
Yeah,
I was actually surprised that Worben just said tuck it under his shoulder and run, and that's probably the reason why, that shoulder.
Yeah.
He still feels that. He wasn't quite sure of himself before in warm-ups, and I went out there and talked to him a little bit, a little nervous about how it's going to feel. But he is a gamer. It's a senior year. But again, when you don't practice all week, the little things go. When to run it, when to throw it.
And that's one of the things, too. The kid did not even throw the football till yesterday, and then only threw 20, 25-yard passes. The longest pass he's thrown since getting hurt was that long 74-yard bomb that went for a touchdown. Pavlonis around the end, gets the first down before he goes out of bounds, I do believe. Yep.
Well, he runs the ball hard. He runs the ball hard. Both 34s on both teams. Bodenhammer and Pavlonis seem to run the ball really hard. You know, again, in this situation, Ashland can't give up now on their total running game. We just can't say, wait, we're going to throw. We got to catch up. Hey, we got a lot of time here in the third quarter, and you guys got guys like Smith and Pavlonis. Do not give up the run, especially your quarterback hasn't practiced all week.
And there's no quit in this Ashland team. Their motto is whatever it takes, and they've done that week after week, finding ways to win. They've had 3 consecutive close games the last 3 weeks in the playoffs. Still find ways to win football games. So don't go away, folks. This one is far from over. Werben using a lot of time. Kester on, oh my goodness, the slant. And Ryan Morrison said, I'm not falling down. This time he is. Kester really took a pop. Morrison laid it on him.
Well, Morrison makes a big-time hit here, but I blame this on the quarterback. Jimmy Werben makes the wrong read. He had Mason wide open in the flat. He doesn't read the safety coming out and covering that. Number 50 was supposed to come out, Jeff Kirkendall, to cover Mason. Did not cover. Bad read on the quarterback's part.
But again, going back to a guy who didn't practice all week. Some of the little things go. Second down play coming up on the 47-yard line of Roseburg. Hand off. And again, they just run the football. This was Joel Smith. Smith, by the way, just an excellent blocker. Of course, carrying the ball on that play. But Joel Smith had a great block in the fourth quarter against Churchill that freed Pavlonis for the winning touchdown in their second round game. He's just an outstanding blocker.
Well, he's all league at linebacker, so another kid that goes both ways. And big play here for Ashland. Again, 3rd and 6. You're not in 2-down territory, so you got to throw the ball here to pick up the 6-7 yards.
Pavlonis lines up in the slot right. He's the intended target, and it's over the top. Going to be 4th down play coming up. Pavlonis was lined up in the slot to the right. Werben actually had a chance at him, but it was a little high.
Well, Nagel's got a big decision here. There's a statement. Do you trust your defense and punt the ball away in a hole and trust your defense to get in there and stop him? And I don't see that happening right now. Even Jimmy Werben's looking at, are we going to punt it? We're going to go for it? Obviously, they're going to go for it.
They're going to go. Austin Mason, who is the tight end, also is the punter, and he was lined up. He was going back to punt, and they waved him off and said, let's go for it. 4th and 6. Ashland fans on their feet. The Roseburg fans come to their feet to root for the defense. 4th and 6, 6:08 left, 3rd quarter. This is a big play. And it's going to be a little razzle-dazzle. Kester throws. It's up for grabs. Knocked in. Oh, and a flag is thrown. Going to be a penalty. Dustin Mikulek says, what? Gabe Stevens, the intended receiver, and a flag thrown, and Thurman Bell does not like it. The Ashland fans and their coaching staff does like it.
Well, they got a free one here. I think I saw this movie when Buffalo was playing New England a couple of weeks ago. You know, it's 4th down and 6. The ball's up for grabs. It wasn't a good throw. Actually, it wasn't a good call. Personally, I would have punted the ball, but I'm sitting up here with you, Scott, so I can't make that call. But yeah, come on. The kid had a hand on him. You got 3 guys covering him, and he's just going up and knocking away. Actually, a really smart play by Mikulek. Real smart. Most kids would go up and try to catch it, but that's a very heads-up play by the senior. Knocked the ball down. Very poor call on the official's part.
If anything, Stevens, the receiver, was wrapped up around Mikulek, trying to play defense on the play. So
bad call. No gray area here. Terrible call.
Roseburg with the lead. 23-10. Ashland still with the football. Mason starts to go in motion. Handoff. Pavlonis coming around right. Oh, what a big play! Knocked him right out of his shoes, didn't he?
Sure did. That's Richie Charles, number 71. This is something now that will fire up the opposing team with a penalty like this, because it shouldn't have been a penalty, and Roseburg's going to get fired up. As you watch it, here comes Pavlonis going outside.
Charles, 6'2", 225, a senior. He played a little bit as a sophomore for Roseburg's varsity team, a team that won the state championship. You know, it's interesting. You've got a couple of guys. Actually, a lot of these guys played JV last year, but you know what? They've been around the program, and it's like they're experienced, even if they haven't played.
They've been playing this kind of offense and defense since Pop Warner. Don't let it fool you.
That was a loss of 4 on the play. Look out, trouble. Pavlonis, can he get free? No, look at the pursuit. Roseburg, big-time play. Kirkendall to finish it off. But what great containment by the guys in the orange and black. Ashland suddenly going the other way.
Well, I question Athlete's play calling, not so much this play here, but the previous play. It's almost like we got to do trick plays now. We got to go for these reverses and reverse passes to do anything against Roseburg. And their basic stuff has been working. I like the way Pavlonis has been running. I like the way Jimmy Werbin's been throwing the quick patterns. Don't go away from that. Now you're in the 3rd and 20. You got to do something special.
Trips to the left side. Stevens to the right. Going to run the screen to Mason. Mason almost broke free, got back to the 30, and a flag coming. Lots of flags coming, and it is a face mask we would suspect.
Well, the yellow flag's been the biggest play offensively for the Ashland Grizzlies. They're going to get another one here. Even though incidental.
Yep.
It was.
No question.
Let's see if we can see it home here. Great setup. Really a good call. I like this call. There it is, yeah. It's like 43. That's Jamie Norton getting his left paw on that Grizzly face mask. Automatic first down. High school football again, a face mask. Personal foul, 15 yards. That's huge, Scott. Where in the pros, you have your incidental one, it's 5 yards, and then your major one, 15 yards. High school, face mask, 15 big ones.
First down and 10, just outside the 15-yard line. Jimmy Werbin still quarterbacking despite throwing with a separated shoulder. Slight separation late in the 4th quarter in the semifinals against Jesuit. Coming to the other side, Mason, good screen set up, well read, fought off nicely, and that was Sievers, was it not? Dan Sievers coming up to make the stop. Boy, did he fight off a block.
Big play, not just one block, but 2 blocks. You had 2 guards. Turovsky came out, Eli Perkins came out to make the block. He went right through it.
And I'll tell you, I think Sievers is playing hurt. We've seen him holding his hand or his arm a couple of times, and he made the tackle there, number 23, and he came up feeling, oh, look, his fingers are bandaged together. I wonder if his hands hurt him, but he's made some big plays.
After 13 games, you know, who doesn't have a bump or bruise out there? A lot of guys got the ouchies, but they're still going to play.
Joel Smith, the only running back who might be there to block because it's trips to the left side. Pavlonis in motion. Werbin looking. Oh, wide open! And an out of the hands as the pass was behind Jay Kester. Oh, was there, and Werbin just missed it. Too bad. Some of that, the timing perhaps, from not having practiced all week.
Well, I think Jimmy Werbin makes a good job here. The flat was not open. He throws in there. Kester hears the feet of Jed Brewer as he come across. I think he caught Brewer a little bit in the corner of his eye because he knows it right now from that reaction. God, if I just slowed down in the zone like I was supposed to slow down, I have it.
And Kester, of course, made a juggling catch in the first half and has the long touchdown catch for Ashland. He has good hands. 3rd down play right here. Throwing, corner route, incomplete, intended for Kester. Ryan Morrison defending. Was not time for that play to develop, I guess. And it'll be a 4th down play. And now with just a little over 3.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, decision time again for Ashland. Do you take a field goal?
I'll tell you why this was incomplete, even though we had the ISO here on Kester, is Jamie Norton, the linebacker for Roseburg, blitzed in hard. No one picked him up, and Werbin had to throw it early, and that was the reason why. And people at home really don't see that a lot, but hey, the linebackers made the play that time.
Timeout on the field before this 4th down play. Decision time for the Grizzlies, who trail right now 23-10.
Listen to this.
Welcome back to Autzen Stadium in Eugene. Roseburg leading Ashland 23-10 in the OSAA US Bank 4A State Football Championship game. And here's that last play.
Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Norton comes scot-free. Walsh, the center, couldn't pick him up. And that's the whole key with this 4th down play now is what kind of protection do we have? You got to protect the quarterback to make this play happen.
Werbin out of the shotgun. Now under pressure. Going to have to scramble. Can he make something out of it? He throws it up for grabs. Smith with the catch, stopped at the 5. It's very close. I think he has a first down. I think he has a first down.
Wow.
What a play. Making something out of nothing. That's freelance. That's you go behind the bus, take a right at the car, and come back and I'll hit you. Well, first and goal for Ashland.
The senior quarterback made a play. He was out all week with an injury against Jesuit. He steps back in as the gamer he is. Watch the athleticism here, which all quarterbacks have. No question about it.
Right,
Every quarterback's the best athlete on the field, besides being the best looking. But look at that. What a great effort by Jimmy on his part to get that completion.
Smith, the lone running back. He just made the big reception on the 4th down play to make it first and goal at the 5. Smith stops short.
That's tough to do on that kid, huh?
Oh, I'm telling you.
Scott, it's a big horse. The linebacker, all SOC linebacker, great fullback, doesn't carry the ball a lot.
Had 3 TD receptions against Hermiston in a regular season game. Against Roseburg, he was the leading ball carrier the first time around. 10 carries, 66 yards. There's Jamie Norton, 10 tackles last week.
Got an equipment problem here. He's got his face mask knocked up near his ear hole and his mouthpiece stuck in his ear and chin strap between his face. I mean, these guys are playing football.
Indeed. Thurman Bell. His one nemesis through the years has been Ashland. Ashland won last year's regular season game 27-17 to snap Roseburg's 33-game win streak, one away from tying the Class 4A record. Ashland now trying to score and get back within a touchdown. And whistle, stopping play just before we go here. It is 2nd down and goal. The scoreboard clock is showing 4th and 2, and that's just not right. 2nd down and 2. They have it right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's what the delay was, but whatever it was, they have now worked things out, and we're about ready to start the play. 2nd down and goal at the 2. Smith, the lone running back. Werbin, the quarterback. Hands. Smith gets in, does he? Yes. Yep. Far side official says touchdown. He just made it. The hole closed, but Joel Smith, who moments ago made the big reception on 4th down to give the Grizzlies a chance for this touchdown, takes it in. And that's a big play for Ashland here with 2:15 left, 3rd quarter.
Well, they had to convert with those 2 penalties that really assisted that drive, which will be talked about big time after this game if this stands up and Ashland comes back. But I want to give some credit here to Walsh and Holte, Swarovski, Perkins, Bakke. They did a real good job in the last, I think, 4 or 5 plays of giving not just Merton time to throw the football, but to run the football when they needed to down there in the red area.
Sean Swarovski comes in now to try the point after.
There's a love about him, too. You don't see this in college or pro. Here's your extra point field goal. Yeah, elbow pads and neck roll. And they'll pad it up.
The kick is up. It hits the left upright and is no good. So
That's
both
big.
teams miss PATs, and it's a 7-point difference. He had made his last 8-point afters, but misses here as it hits the upright. But Joel Smith has brought his team back within a touchdown with 2:15 left, 3rd quarter.
Sorry, the pass is closed. You can't get through.
Thanks for the warning.
No, I mean the pass is closed.
Okay. Apparently, you've misunderstood. See, I drive the truck, which carries the cars that boost the volume, which in turn lowers the prices at Thomason. If I don't make it through, no, I can't think that way. I will, no, I must get through.
Oh, my babies! I'll be back!
Football Championship presented by United Rentals. Scott Lynn along with Neil Lomax and Bob Akamian. Sean Churofsky, who moments ago hit the upright on the point after, will do the kickoff right here. Back deep to defend for Roseburg, number 24, J.J. Wolford, and number 28, Conway Bixby. They stand on their 5-yard line. Churofsky gives it a little pooch of sorts and hits about the 18. Bounces up and into the hands of Bodenhammer. Bodenhammer gets across the 25. And that's where Roseburg will have it. Remember last time they started at the 22 and went right down. Now the point after, a point that needs to be made. Yeah. Churofsky missed it by hitting the upright. But Neil, we're playing in a college stadium.
Yeah, in high school, the uprights are actually 6 inches wider on each side. So another foot. It gives you another foot now. Could he made it? Yeah, maybe, but it's a bad snap, bad kick. But both teams got to kick to those goalposts. They don't like that. But I just love seeing a kicker anyway with a neck roll and elbow pads on. Yeah,
probably like to go out and hit somebody right now, I guarantee you. Bixby goes in motion for Roseburg. Hand off to Bodenhammer. Fullback powers up to the 30, gain of about 3. Second down. The clock running. 2 minutes left, third quarter. Let's go down on the field to Bob Akamian.
Well, this is the next generation of Bell coaches. It's Mark Bell, the middle son of Thurman. He's the head coach at Oregon City. What did you learn from your father and his 29 years of experience growing up?
Oh, geez, he knows how to compete. He'll take kids and put them in the right situations and let them compete. And he's a great coach, and he's got a great coaching staff, as well as Coach Nagel on the other side. That's why this is such a good ball game right now.
I know you've never had a chance to actually coach with him except in a Shrine game. Would you ever take the opportunity if he wanted you to come back to Roseburg and coach with him?
I don't know. I don't know if I would. I'd like to try and get him to come up and coach with me at Oregon City. He'd be a great asset for us. I think I'll get him to retire and come up and coach with us here in a few years. I don't know if he'll ever retire, though. He loves football, and he may be here for a long time.
Now, Mark got Oregon City into the playoffs at 5-5 in his second year, and I know more to come next year. Thanks a lot.
I hope so. Thank you very much.
Back upstairs to Scott and Neil.
All right, boys, some hitting going on, huh? Pavlonis upends the intended receiver there. Thurman Bell, got to be very, very proud, of course.
You know, Mark Bell has done a great job at Oregon City. They lost a lot of players. He's brought them back to a playoff contending team.
3rd down and 7 right here, third quarter, big play. Pumps once, now goes long. It's a little bit long. The intended receiver, Teese Keitert. That play well designed, well conceived, and a pretty good play, just didn't quite get it done. So a punting situation, and Ashland now will have a chance to get the
Watch
football.
Linderman here. Great call and a pump and go. And watch his reaction. I've seen this movie with me many times. I got it there. I got it there. I don't got it there.
You still have tapes, don't you?
Oh, man. I know what that feeling like. Too many times I've felt like that. It's always the receiver's fault. That's what I at least try to convince myself.
Pavlonis goes back to receive the punt. Holt punts it. Bounces about the 39-yard line, and they're going to let it roll dead about the 30. Inside the 30 now. Roseburg getting a little roll. That ball may never stop. And it finally does. And now Ashland will have the football with 62 seconds left in the third quarter to try to go downfield and tie up this football game. 23-16 your score. Have you checked out the Ultimate Fan League yet? This is sports trivia like you've never seen it before. By far the funniest game show you've ever seen. All kind of wacky stuff going on there, folks. You can tune into the Ultimate Fan League weeknights at 5:30 on Fox Sports Northwest.
Good crowd here. All these folks coming up from Ashland and Roseburg. About 9,000 folks over here on this side.
I would think so. Smith and Pavlonis in the backfield. The pitch goes to Pavlonis. Not much doing there. Great pursuit. And again, it's big number 71, Richie Charles, that grabbed onto the shirt and wouldn't let go.
I'm glad number 1's still out there. I don't really get a chance to see it, but Ryan Morrison took a hit from Pavlonis on defense. He went a quick slant a couple plays before. And is that the first punt? I know the first punt of this half, obviously, but is that the first punt Roseburg's had? I mean, Masson's had a real difficult time stopping that. That's a big stop to really get the momentum back on the Grizzlies side. Again, terrible field position. That's been the MO for Ashland all game long. They've been averaging starting from their own 22-yard line. So tough.
It was the second time they punted by my memory. Pass, and it is complete to Kester. A very nice ball, well thrown. Looks like, well, depending on the spot, it's very close. I think it's going to be about a foot short of the first down. But a nicely delivered ball to Kester.
Big time throw. That was
I think numbers.
His best throw of the day. As you see, Kester's numbers, 132 yards and a touchdown.
Kester had 5 catches for 119 yards in the quarterfinal game against Sunset, including the 24-yarder in the fourth quarter, which was the game winner. Third quarter, we had some stuff, didn't we? Linderman coming right into your living room for the touchdown. Roseburg leads by 7 as we head to the fourth quarter. The many fans wearing the red and white of the Ashland Grizzlies, hoping for a comeback here in the fourth quarter. Roseburg leading 23-16 as we start the final 12 minutes. And when we went to break, we saw a very close to a first down situation, but through 3 quarters, as we check out the yardage, it is pretty darn even when you consider everything.
And Jim Nagel's had some tough decisions to make this game already as we start the fourth quarter. We got, what, 4th down and a half an inch?
4th down and about, I would say about 3 inches.
Another little credit card measurement. It was close. And
it was very close.
Again, I tell you, the guys, I guess he's got pretty good job security down there in Ashland, because I would have punted a couple of these just to get Roseburg down in their own territory, but this is a big call. Oh, well, it's like 3rd down.
The field markers had 3rd down play.
There's Jim Nagel.
They had 4th. Now it's 3rd down. It is 3rd and 1. So
I'll stand corrected here.
This is not as big a play, but it is a first down. As you saw Jim Nagel upstairs looking on. Yeah, the people on the sidelines, as you look at Jim Nagel upstairs, had initially had 4th down on the card, marking the spot of the football. They flipped it back to 3rd and have it right.
He feels he has a better sense of the offense, defense, the whole command of the team when he sits up above. And again, I don't know any head coaches at pro level, college level that wants to get upstairs to see what's going on. You want to be a commander on the sidelines.
Champions in 1989, beating Roseburg. Champs in 91, shutting out South Salem. Ashland, and now going down. I think he tripped on his own player. I believe he did. Werbin just getting down at that point.
Yeah, Eli Perkins made the tackle that time. It was offensive tackle for there's big Eli. Eli, my man over there. 6'2", 225. Of course, they're from Ashland. What are they going to be like from Portland?
That's right.
Playing down there.
It's a little different than the college and the NFL.
Boy, all these guys
he's from Ashland.
All these guys are from the same town. Unbelievable, the recruiting being done down there.
Yeah. Loss of a yard on that last play, and Werbin now goes back under center. Stevens comes wide to the left side. He's not even in your picture.
Well, they spread him out. That's the philosophy of Ashland. Here comes Mason in motion. And you're going to talk, this is the 4th delay of game, Scott, so far. Might not be the last.
Might not. Still 10 minutes and 54 seconds left. And Jim Nagel looking on. Jim Nagel in his 5th title game here in the state of Oregon. He is 2-2 thus far. This is his team's first trip to the finals since 1993. They were the runner-up in 92 and 93, losing to North Medford in 93, another SOC team. In fact, 4 times in the last, 10 years that you had all SOC final. Southern Oregon Conference. They play some football.
And don't forget about North Medford. Used to be Medford Black Tornado. The power they were for many years in the 70s and early 80s.
2nd down and 16 now. Mason starts in motion. Comes back the other way, and Werbin will throw. Has time. Hit as he throws it away, and Kester was the intended receiver. Dustin Mikulik was about as close as anybody to it. Werbin took quite a shot as he threw that one away. He didn't throw it away, but it didn't complete it.
Yeah, and Roger Walsh, the center, made sure he got back up. He picked him back up, so Jimmy, get back in here. Now we've seen a little more different coverage on Kester. He both had not just Mikulik. Poe was also coming inside, so they had 2 guys covering. Mikulik came inside. Poe was outside. Right now, everybody knows the favorite target of Jimmy Werbin is Kester. He's got to decide now if he's covered, I'm going number 2, number 3 receiver.
3rd and 16. Got to get to the 47 of Roseburg for a first down. Werbin to throw. He's got a guy out there, and it is in and out of the hands of Pavlonis.
Had him. Nice ball, nice routes. They cleared out the Roseburg coverage. Great throw, Scott. There's a lot of times it happens. You see it at every level, pro level, college level. It's all about execution. Nice ball. Pavlonis just got to make the catch.
And he knew right where to go. He had the first down. All he got to do is haul it in. That's too bad for that young man. So now a punting situation because it is 4th and 16. And this is where Roseburg can be so dangerous because you may not see the football again. Ashland, by the way, had a fake against Sunset that led them to the winning touchdown in that game. Don't forget that. Mason, the punter, threw for a first down. Now Werbin, the quarterback, it's a fake. Werbin throws it to Mason. There is a flag down on the play, but Mason has the first down if it is against Roseburg.
You get a legal formation. This ball is to be called back. But boy, Scott, you've done your homework there, Scotty. You called that shot. But unfortunately, it'll be going against a legal shift, legal formation. Oh, we got a personal foul.
Was that against Roseburg? Personal foul?
Well, that's what Velosky, the head referee.
Roughing the passer indicated.
Roughing the passer. So
in this case,
they may have to do it again. Yeah, running the punter passer.
You're roughing the punter passer.
At what point does the punter become the passer?
I don't know those technical things, but you can tell you called it. They were in motion, faked it going this way. Roseburg actually was set up for it too. They knew it was coming. They just over pursuit, which is a well-coached team. They over pursuit. Mikulak was there, number 5, to make the coverage. Good block. Good conversion of a 4th and 13. But it's all for naught.
And Ashland has been so close on this drive to keeping it alive. You had the drop pass there by Pavlonis. Would have been a first down. Now they have to redo the play after the penalty. 4th and 16. Let's see if they fake it here or if Werbin did punt last week in the semis.
What's the odds they kick here?
Pretty good, I think. Low snap.
Nice
but
kick.
Werbin gets it up high and a fair catch called for back at the 24-yard line. Nicely done and a good fair catch in traffic by Jed Brewer, and Roseburg will have it with just inside 10.5 minutes remaining in this football game. 23-16, Roseburg on top. 36-yard punt by Mason. We'll go down on the field to Bob Akamian.
Well, plenty of spirit on the Roseburg sideline. The band's playing, the cheerleaders are here. Jessica's in charge of the whole bunch. Now, I know one of the things you do at Roseburg is you put on clinics for little kids interested in cheerleading.
Yeah, 3 times a year, once during football and 2 times during basketball. We put on cheer clinics, and they pay money, and is our main way of fundraising for all these outfits that we wear.
That's good stuff, and you got the nice fleece going here. Very sharp for this time of year. Before we go now, do you guys have a cheer for us?
Yeah.
They're hired.
All right, nicely done, girls. Oh boy, that's what it's all about too, having some fun.
Phil Knight's loving that too. Huh? A little promo for the swoosh.
Linderman 8 of 14, 112 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. You don't expect that. He's only had 6 all year.
He's playing a good game and a lot of time left in this game.
2nd down and 10 after no gain on the last play. Gonna throw. Neal's surprised, but Linderman now says, nope, I'll keep it. He's close to a first down, and he has it across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Linderman, we mentioned it earlier, he ad-libs with the best of them, and that was an ad-lib play for a first down.
Yeah, he pulled it down maybe a little earlier than he should. He actually had some receivers open. Tighter was coming open, but maybe this is why they voted him co-offensive player of the year with his counterpart over there from Ashland. You know, that's saying a lot for a junior. Yeah. You have a senior like Werbin over there for Ashland. He's co-offensive player of the year.
Yeah, Linderman started the last 3 games of the year as a sophomore. He's having a nice day here today. Linderman, by the way, good athlete. One of 3 starters on the basketball team for Roseburg playing here today. Anderson and Mikulak also are starters. That basketball coach has got to be going, let's get football season over. Linderman keeps it. Nice move. I'll tell you something else. This offensive line for Roseburg, we talked about him several times today, but Richie Charles, Buck Forrest, Alan Bone, Landon Rayburn, Robin Kniebel, Matt Brock, Chris Cummings come in and play a lot as well. They do a tremendous job There was a situation where last week in the semifinals against Tualatin, the Tualatin Timberwolves with the fine running back came right back, Luke Staley. He ran for over 200 yards. They came back in the second half, made it a game. And at one point, the lineman said they all grabbed hands and said, fellas, we need to have a long drive, eat up some clock, and add some points to the scoreboard. The O-line held on. I think it was an 11-play, 7-minute drive. And that's the ball game.
It's all pride. That's what Thurman Bell teaches from the 5th graders and 6th graders. You got to have pride when you're one of the linemen, the hogs in the trenches.
8 minutes, 40 seconds left. Handoff, first down. Yes, sir. You know, Linderman is one of those kids who's been around Roseburg and a long time. He knows what it is to be playing for the Roseburg Indians.
The best thing in the world when you actually got to get one to give you a high five. You know, they'd run by, they'd be intense on the game, and then one would stick out their hand, give you a high five, and just make the whole night. I mean, just looking at their helmets and the feathers on there, I mean, it's a dream come true just to be able to put the feather on your helmet. I mean, there's so much tradition behind it. It's incredible. I mean, the whole town is just behind our whole team, and I mean, people have grown up on Roseburg football, and you know, everybody supports it, and I mean, it's just great.
It is great. In both of these towns, they can be very proud. Roseburg, a population of 19,810. Ashland, about the same size, just a little bit smaller. Linderman, a little play action under great pressure. Oh, did he take a pop? Linderman just got drilled. And that's Zach Hassel.
Yeah, it's my quarterback buddy there, Scott.
Your backup quarterback, leading linebacker, who came through and put the hit on him. Watch this.
He was surprised by a lot of folks by saying he had his shoulder injured as well, and he comes in and puts a nice hit on Linderman. And again, not the philosophy that Ashland's not surprised about. Last year, Nagel's son, Jim, played linebacker and quarterback for that starting quarterback and linebacker for the Ashland team. So they've had that linebacker mentality in a quarterback body.
Kiter goes in motion. The pitch outside. Bixby covered. Down he goes. Pavlonis.
How about that?
Pavlonis on D. Making up for the drop pass on offense a short time ago with a big defensive play. Man, that's a nice play. Read it well, didn't he, Neil?
Well, it's a great play. They go counter, veer left side. Pavlonis shakes off his block by Anderson, throws Pat Anderson down like a little dish rag and makes the play. Again, these teams aren't going to surprise each other by what they do. It all comes down to execution. Right now, it's a big 3rd down and 16, an area where Roseburg is not familiar with. That's why they got to take the timeout.
Going to take a quick timeout, so we will as well. We're inside 7.5 minutes left in regulation. Could we have overtime, do you think, today? Stick around, folks. I said the magic word, OT. It's a 7-point game.
Make your next business trip more productive and successful at a Shiloh Inn. Enjoy clean, comfortable deluxe rooms and spacious suites designed for business with data ports, free local calls, videotape players, and thoughtful amenities to make business travel a pleasure. You'll discover superb facilities for efficient work, relaxing play, and fine dining. So for business across America's western states, make your reservation for success at Shiloh Inns. Affordable excellence.
Time to get a rush. G-Shock Rush Hour. Crank, racing, jump, mountain biking, motocross, and more. Board wild, skate, snow, wake, and surf. Extreme Sports, a weekly wrap-up of all the action. Extremists, the most extreme athletes, the most outrageous stunts. Friday, the best of Rush Hour. Now, Monday through Friday at 5 p.m., get a rush with G-Shock Rush Hour. Here on Fox Sports Net.
Welcome back. 7:26 left. Roseburg leading by 7 points. But a big play here. 3rd down and 18 for the Indians. Linderman behind center.
Look for Anderson here. I think this is where they like to get a big play out of their tight end, either down the middle or to the corner.
Pavlonis had an interception against Roseburg in the regular season. He's looking to pick one here. Whoa! Did he catch it? Morrison, yes. It is complete, but it's short of the 1st down. What a nice catch by Ryan Morrison.
just got the wind knocked out of him. Just a simple post pattern from their inside guy, Ryan Morrison, the inside receiver on this. And good job of Linderman looking off the free safety. He looked off Contreras. He made sure he stayed deep. He found Morrison right across the middle. Zone coverage. Ashland's in their zone. He looked off Pavlonis. Boom.
Nice catch by Morrison. He averages 20 yards per catch. He's been a big play guy
average. I think he just got the wind knocked out of him. He'll get back in there next play.
Huffing and puffing there right now. But now on 4th down and 3, another decision really to make. You're too far for a field goal.
Well, you're up by 7 as well.
By 7. And now Roseburg wants to talk it over. Second time that the Indians have had to take a timeout to decide what they were going to do on a big play. Roseburg has called timeout. Thurman Bell coming out. I'm not sure that he wanted Linderman to take that timeout.
Well, what he's talking about right now, he thought he had an injury timeout. He thought the referees gave an injury timeout with Morrison, but that was not the case.
Well, folks, weeknights at 7. It's Fox Sports Northwest Tonight. All the regionals, hottest sports news and features. The sports that you care about and the athletes you know. News from the Northwest's Pac-10 universities and much, much more. Fox Sports Northwest Tonight with Tom Glasgow every weeknight at 7 o'clock. Boy, see Griffey swinging there. It's about that time of year again, isn't it?
Well, and this is the time you punt. I don't think you want to go for it here on 4th and 4. You're up by 7. I know they're on their 45-yard line. I think Thurman Bell's going to play the conservative route here and go ahead and kick it, even though their quarterback is also the punter.
Been some snow in the area here in the last week or so, but it's a beautiful afternoon here. And on 4th down and 3, the punt is coming. Holt punts it to Pavlonis, who has to go down on his knee to take it at about the 15-yard line. That's where Ashland will have it with 6 minutes and 27 seconds left officially, as Ashland, down by 7, has the football and a chance to tie or win. Boy, it just comes down to this with these two teams all the time, doesn't it?
Well, it's been like this way the whole season for Ashland. They have not been able to put teams away, especially in the playoffs. Roseburg's had a couple blowouts of 2 or 3 touchdowns here and there, but Ashland's had close ones all the way, especially last week, talking about the Jesuit game in overtime.
Absolutely. I was here watching that game, and it was unbelievable. Jesuit, seemingly the dominant team, had the ball twice as much, gained twice as much yardage, and all Ashland did was win the football game. Mason in motion. Little play action. Mason is wide open. Austin Mason at midfield. He still has it. Austin Mason to the 35-yard line of Roseburg. 1st and 10. The Ashland Grizzlies are alive and well. Thank you.
No time to panic. You don't need to hit the home run right away. And what does Ashland come out?
Touchdown almost.
Well, they tried. If Ryan Poe, number 7 for Roseburg, made sure it wasn't a touchdown, Scott. I'll tell you what, great job of looking off the coverage. They got the coverage they wanted. It was man-to-man. Worman did a really nice job of pump faking, make sure they stayed to the left side of the coverage, and he hit Mason right down the middle.
Ryan Poe, let us again say it, he saves that touchdown while running with a torn ACL. Playing in a championship game with that injury as he's played all season. Poe really got to him as well, but the pass is complete to Smith. I can't believe Worman got that play away. And Worman got turned a little funny inside out by Ryan Poe just as he threw the football. But Worman is up and okay. Ryan Poe, man, was he coming on that one. The inspirational leader on the defense.
Yeah, playing with a leg and a half. The kid's a player, and he hasn't really been effective the last 4 or 5 weeks. This surprised Worman. He's looking to his right, a safety blitz. And Ryan Poe actually went awfully low. He went low. If he could have really had a pretty good snot bubble there, if he went a little higher than that, he could have had a little neck rock in there. I've been through a few of those with my friend Lawrence Taylor.
Nice. Poe, the first junior to be elected captain last year, and now this one, is it going to be complete? Let's see. I think it's complete and a fumble. I think it's a completion and a fumble. Let's see how the officials rule on it. They're talking it over. Yes, it is. Completion, fumble, Indians recover. Pat Anderson. Jay Kester says, oh, come on. But it is going to be Roseburg football with just over 5 minutes left.
Well, Worman throws a rope in here to Gabe Stevens. And Stevens got a hole in the ball. I can't really tell, Scott, from that angle if he got 1 foot, 2 feet down or not. We'll get a better look here.
Does he have it?
There's control, 1, 2, 3. Well, I think it's a good call. had a little pitter-pat there, and he got stripped of the ball by Dustin Mikulek.
Mikulek with the cause of the fumble. 2 turnovers for Ashland. Not unusual. Ashland actually is in the negative territory in that on the season. Big play here as they run the option. Quarterback keeping it all the way. Linderman about to make that point. Ashland on the season, despite being 13-0, they came into this game with 1 more turnover than takeaway. That's hard to believe.
That is hard to believe when you haven't lost a game yet. That's a high ratio. I know the pros in college football really work on that. It's just as important as the score is that turnover ratio. And Linderman doing a good job there of picking up 8 yards.
And watch now, 2nd down and 2. Watch for Charles and Forrest and Bone and Rayburn and Knievel, that big offensive line, to get tough.
The Hogs
3
will play.
all SOC offensive linemen trying to keep this drive going. Handoff to the fullback. First man through Bodenhammer. Stops short of the 1st down. Ashland's defense, by the way, I want to mention this, even though it wasn't evident on this particular play. I was in the press box last week with a lot of area high school coaches around me. And as Ashland pursued the football against the bigger, stronger Jesuit team, time and time again, you'd see 9 guys end up on the football. 2 receivers are out, 9 other guys are on the football making tackles. The pursuit is unbelievable and has been all year for the Ashland Grizzlies.
Well, that's discipline. That comes from Jim Nagel. Those are the little things he works very hard and has a lot of pride in at practice.
3:45 to play, 3rd down and 2. Timeout is going to be called right here. Roseburg takes its last timeout to talk it over on a huge 3rd down play. Thurman Bell, I don't think, liked what he saw. 3rd down and 2 with 3:36 to play in regulation.
Well, quarterback sneaks wide open if he calls his own number.
Linderman with Bodenhammer behind him. Bixby in motion. Hand to Bodenhammer. He's got the 1st down, I do believe. Yes, he does. Depending on the spot, but I'd say he has it. Yeah, he's got a 1st down. Big play for Roseburg, and the fans in the orange and black are on their feet now.
Well, Alan Bone, the center, number 55, was uncovered. Looked like he was kind of looking back at Linderman, saying, let's go ahead and take it. Give me a little slap on the rear, and we'll take the quarterback sneak. And that's something, silent count, that we had, Scott, in the pros in college. If you thought you had a quarterback sneak, you just tapped at center with a silent count. And I'll tell you, I picked up the easiest 4 or 5 yards sometimes. As you see Wes Ediger there bringing out the state championship trophy.
Boy, that's what it's all about. And about 3 minutes left in this football game. Roseburg with the lead and the ball. The pitch to the outside. Bixby caught, very nicely defended there.
Nice play by Quant.
Yeah,
nice play by Quant. Quant threw down Kiter, made sure he got away from him and came up, made the play.
Bixby, 72 yards rushing. Bodenhammer, 65 with the touchdown. And Linderman, 52 yards rushing and a touchdown. And yes, they have thrown the football with some effectiveness today.
Oh,
but yeah, they'll run it and do that very well.
And this is balance. This is Thurman Bell's balance, veer offense. He says, I have 2 or 3 key guys we talked about in the opening. He's not going to throw the ball well. We're going to balance with our offensive game plan. Fullback runs, halfback runs. Again, it's all triggered by number 17 Hero. He still has to read the linebackers, defensive ends, how they react, how they respond to that handoff.
And on defense, you know they're going to be slapping at the football now, trying to knock it away.
Delay of game.
Delay of game. Flag is thrown, and that's going to cost Roseburg 5 yards. Thurman Bell says time. Oh, boy. Thurman Bell, by the way, I still think wants a timeout for the one that he had to take when he had a player shaken up. There was a player injured.
He was looking for that injury timeout. I don't know why the coaches here don't. When you're playing at the stadium here at Autzen Stadium, artificial turf, and I'm a player that I cannot stand playing on artificial turf. But if you have the technology with a play clock, I don't know if it's an OSA rule. I'll do some R&D on this and get back to you on that. But why not use the play clock if it's available?
2:15 left. Linderman barks out the signal. It's the option play. Well defended by Roseburg. Number 70, Nick Bucky.
But if I was Ashland, they have 2 timeouts left. I'd take one here right now. If I was Nagel, you got down to 2 minutes here.
And he did call
okay.
the timeout. Just about out of bounds, not quite, meaning the clock was continuing to run. So with 2:03 left, Roseburg still with the football. It'll be 3rd down and 11 when we come back. Another big play as the Indians try to hold on. There is Jim Nagel, the head coach of the Ashland Grizzlies, upstairs looking on, talking to his coaches on the field. The defense needing a stop right here. 3rd down and 11. Roseburg with the ball and a 23-16 advantage.
If Ashland stays in their zone, which they've been doing 80% of the time, watch for this flat by Bixby and a curl route by Morrison.
Morrison is wide to the right. Bixby goes in motion. Time to throw. Now he's in trouble, and he's going to go down. He had a receiver open, but didn't have time to find him. There's a big play by Nick Bakke. Bakke with some of that great speed we talked about. He recovered a fumble in overtime to clinch the win over Jesuit. His hope right now is to get the football back and have his offense go down and score to tie it.
Biggest pressure so far. They needed it. I tell you, Tease Kiter was wide open in the curl route. He was there, but pressure came from inside. Mike Ridbum, Tyson George, Steve Cornell, Ryan Hansen put some pressure on Linderman. He had to get away from his read. But I tell you what, Tease Kiter was coming wide open in that little flat hook we talked about. That's been a very successful play for Roseburg. Put one guy in the flat. As you see, Nicholas Bakke, his stats for today.
That was actually last week against Jesuit. He had a big game.
Was that okay?
It was indeed. And we are in a situation here now where Roseburg will have to punt the football. It's 4th down and 20. The ball back on the 18-yard line. Ashland will get the ball back. No timeouts remaining for either team. Going to be very interesting to see if Jimmy Werbin and company can march down the field after they get it back. The big thing for Roseburg here is to punt the football.
Punt the football, and Ashland will have no timeouts. They are a multiple offense passing team, so no strange to them. They should get the ball in great field position, but when the Ashland defense had to show me something, boy, they did in that last play.
Holt to punt it. He's standing on his 5. The first thing is the snap. It's pretty good. He's got time to punt it away and does. Pavlonis is back to watch it. He takes it on the 49. Pavlonis takes it back to the 41, and so 41 yards away from a potential game-tying touchdown and point after with 1 minute and 37 seconds left. Ashland with its best field position of the day to start a drive. Let's go down to Bob Akamian.
Well, Ashland has 1:37 to tie it or maybe win it in regulation. And for the first time this year, we would have overtime in an OSAA championship game. Roseburg knows all about that. They were part of the last tie in an OSAA final. It happened in 1990. Roseburg dominated the game, but Tigard came from behind to score in the final play of the game. The Tigers elected to kick the extra point and settled for a 14-14 tie.
We are back to live action. There's a flag down on this play. Werbin threw it up for grabs, and it is intercepted as we come back to the live action. A flag on the play. It's back in the defensive secondary, but we'll wait and see what it is.
Well, Jimmy Werbin's going to get a resurrection here of his life. I tell you, that was a very, very poor decision. He had Pavlonis right in the flat on that sprint out, and these refs again are going to call. The back judge obviously saw some contact. They're going to call pass interference on Roseburg.
Bob Hazelton, the back judge. Referee Vic Gorzelski says it's against Roseburg, so forget the interception. Thurman Bell says, I don't think so. But Ashland will have the football and still a chance to tie, and Thurman is not happy.
The defensive holding is actually probably a worse scenario for Roseburg. Could be a 15-yarder. So it is a difference. There's not pass interference. Is 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. And it wasn't pass interference. Defensive holding was the call.
So the officials will continue to sort it out and then mark the football. The line of scrimmage was the 41. It moves up to the 31-yard line.
But Jimmy Werbin, Scott, just an absolute terrible decision of going for that big home run right away when Kester was obviously covered by 3 Indians.
You saw Thurman Bell. He's trying to win his 5th championship. It isn't coming easy. Werbin throws in and out of the hands of Kester, I believe. Yes, that would have been a tough catch. It'll be second down. The clock stops, 1:23 to play. You know, Ashland was the SOC champ. Roseburg got in thanks to a coin flip.
Yeah. Grant's pass. It was Grant's pass.
Grant's
Roseburg,
pass and North Medford. They all tied it with 2 losses in conference play.
I don't do paper, rock, scissors. They do a coin toss. I do a little 3-way paper, rock, scissors myself.
And all Roseburg has done is take advantage of that to take it right to the championship game. Austin Mason has the first down inside the 20. First down with 78 seconds left. Well, folks, if you'll recall last year's game, it went down to the final minute. Nick Kalaikai kicked a field goal to win it after an aerial show put on by Taylor Barton, and Sean Kintner, of course, done some great receiving.
50-48 or 50-49.
51-48 was the final.
From unbelievable. The fireworks of that for a final between Beaverton and McNary.
And we might have just as much excitement right here as Ashland trying to get to the end zone. Warbin will operate out of the shotgun, trips to the left. Stevens is wide to the left. Look out here. Kester can throw it. Now it comes back, and it's incomplete. He threw it into the mix of white shirts. The intended receiver was the quarterback, Warbin. It was there, too, folks.
Oh, it was. It was.
There's the guy who called it. Jim Nagel upstairs said, it's there, it's there. Oh, my goodness. Those are all offensive linemen.
I don't think he has any more of these trick plays left. He used a whole lot of them in the first half. Kester looks like he's throwing back down to Stevens. Throws back to Warbin, and he was there. The offensive line was downfield, but the ball was thrown behind the line of scrimmage, so it's a legal forward pass.
So now, second down. Still a lot of time. Fans from both cities on their feet here in Eugene. Mason pretending to be in motion. And I think, yep,
here's your delay of game again.
Would that be number 5 of the game?
Well, they got to do something about this play clock. I actually starting to feel sorry now for these teams. It's both teams, especially Warbin. He's the one that's getting the most of it. But, you know, you get this a championship game. He hasn't practiced all week. It really is not his fault. They got the technology again. I don't know why that's an OSAA call or what, but they used the play clock.
The Roseburg Indians trying to hold on for the win. There you see Warbin, who has led Ashland all season to an undefeated year. Penalties pretty much even as far as number, but the penalties in yardage.
Yeah, well, 5 of those 6 are all just a play clock issue with delay of the game.
Yep. So now it's second down and 15. Got to get inside the 10 to the 9 for a first down. Warbin looking, throwing, and it's going to be incomplete, intended for Kester. A third down play coming up. Roseburg, the last 4 games of the regular season, outscored its 4 opponents 156-19. Then in the playoffs, shut out Gresham at Gresham 16-0. Won over Sprague 14-0. The quarterfinals came from behind to beat Lake Ridge 28-14. Then Thurman Bell's team beat Tualatin last week right here at Auction Stadium 37-20 as Bixby and Bodenhammer each rushed for 100 yards.
The key here is to get half of this. It's third down and 15. You only need about 8 or 7 yards. That's the goal.
Little swing pass.
They might get it all.
Smith close to the first down, has it, and he's going to score! Touchdown! Ashland within 1. Joel Smith with his 4th touchdown catch of the season.
Just a nice conservative call. This play is geared to get maybe your 7 or 8 yards, but it turns out to be the home run. Big 79, Eli Perkins setting the way for number 4, Joel Smith. We kick the extra point, which you do. I don't know if you're Jim Nagel, what do you do, Scott?
I got to tell you, very honestly, Neil, Sharofsky was held off the field. It looked like they thought they might go for 2. Now they've rushed Sharofsky onto the field. I'm not sure there's much time on the play clock. Sharofsky to tie it right here, 58 seconds left. It's up, and it is good.
It's good.
Tied in Eugene, Roseburg, Ashland. Are you having fun yet, folks? It's the state championship, the 4A title in the state of Oregon on the line. That means it's going to be a great one, and you're seeing it right here on Fox Sports Northwest. Joel Smith, the touchdown that got him close. By the Thomason Auto Group. And by the Umpqua Dairy of Roseburg. Well, they're in the Dairy of Roseburg. They've got to be wondering what's going to happen here. There's still about a minute to play in regulation. Roseburg will get the football back, but the Ashland Grizzlies have tied it here at Autzen Stadium. Sean Shirosky to kick it off. I doubt that they'll let a guy try to return it here. Football loose for a moment. Wolford with it. Pretty good coverage by Ashland. Get almost back to the 30. That's where they'll have it, some 70, 71 yards away from the winning score. And now back to work, Thurman Bell and his quarterback, Kevin Linderman. Again, no timeouts for either team.
And your concern is obviously Roseburg's not a run and shoot passing team here. So the concern is don't make a mistake. Don't give them the ball. Dumb interception. You got some time. There's not a lot of time. You have no timeouts. As Bob Akemian mentioned earlier, this is the first year there will be no tie. No co-championship. Go to Kansas plan.
Bodenhammer and Bixby in the eye. Let's see if they play it conservatively or go for it. Hand off to Bixby. He can make some stuff happen, but he's wrapped up here. First to get to him was Joel Smith, the middle linebacker. And the clock will run, and we might see one more play. Probably going to take a knee, and let's see the Kansas plan.
Well, it fits in well with Roseburg's offensive philosophy and their style. They're not a team with no timeouts, 50 seconds to go, 4 wide receivers.
Thurman Bell, his team got a co-champion in 1990, the co-championship with Tigard, as we saw earlier. There'll be no co-championship here today. Thurman's team led almost all game that day, and he was disappointed with that tie.
They're letting that clock run down, and that'll be a wise thing for them, and going to Kansas plan.
And will they have a tricky play? Oh, they're not taking a knee. They're going to try to do something. Let's see. Linderman goes down on the final play of regulation. Well, now, isn't this fun?
We got ourselves a football game.
Indeed. I had the privilege of calling the action in perhaps the greatest Civil War football game, Oregon State.
Duck Beaver, you did that one.
Last month. And getting a chance now to see another outstanding game. You know, Neil, we did what everybody has said around the state was the best high school football game ever last year. This one may rank right up there with it in regards to it's going to be decided in thrilling fashion.
It didn't have a total of 102 points like we saw McNary and Beaverton, but just as good as the football action with you got all this type of controversy.
Send us to the Kansas plan in Oregon.
Do you want to improve your...
Well, we are ready to start overtime here at Autzen Stadium in Eugene as Ashland and Roseburg have tied through the end of regulation. Scott Lynn along with Neil Lomax and Bob Akemian. There's Thurman Bell talking to his team. We go to the Kansas plan now, and he's making it very explicit, some very explicit instructions as to how this works. Some of these kids probably haven't been involved in a Kansas plan situation. Here are the OSAA tiebreaker rules. You begin on your opponent's 25-yard line, and beginning on the 10-yard line, starting in the last batter. You want to be able to bat in the bottom of the 9th in baseball and have your last shot at it. And it really figures in, Neil, when when you're making a decision, if you've gone first to kick the field goal or go for a touchdown on 4th down, you don't have to make that decision. It's been made for you if you're batting second.
A lot easier when you're putting second for birdie or not. And Thurman Bell's got to make sure they get points. That is the key in the overtime Kansas plan is you got to get points. You cannot afford sacks and get you out of field goal range. 3 points might win you a ball game. So don't just think that everybody's going to score touchdowns here. You the ball at the 25-yard line. You can get first downs now. The first 2 Kansas plays. First downs are very important. So don't get away from your game plan. Stay with you've done very well. And Roseburg's thing is our offensive line is the best offensive line we think in the state. So stick with your running game. Moving on down to score. Put pressure on the Ashland Grizzlies.
So here we go. Welcome to overtime in the state championship game. 23-23. Roseburg with the football. Number 17, Kevin Linderman, the junior quarterback, behind center. Bodenhammer, the only running back. Bixby goes in motion. Play action. It's to Anderson over the top. Complete, just short of a first down to the 16-yard line. That play's been pretty effective today, and it's been there.
It really has. I think you call Pat Anderson as their leading receiver. He's had over 30 catches.
He threw the touchdown that won it last week against Jesuit in overtime. He's on defense right now. 2nd and 1. Hand off to Bodenhammer. Nope, the quarterback kept it. I'm sorry, Linderman kept it, and he is dropped for a loss. 3rd down play coming. Big number 72 is Tyson George. He and his friends doing the job right up front.
And part of this veer offense is a quarterback making the read, and the read should have been almost go ahead and give it to the fullback. He has a hole. Obviously, he thought with Smith coming, I'll tuck it back and make the pitch. Didn't make a good call that time. Loss of 2. Big 3rd down and 2.
3rd down and a long 2. It's almost 3. The clock does not run in the overtime. It's just simply you keep it till you score or you don't score. Option, gonna throw. Morrison's open, in and out of the hands of Pavlonis. Almost picked off. That would have been huge. Morrison was behind the coverage, and Pavlonis almost made the interception. I will tell you something that's very reminiscent of the play in which Ashland won the football game against Sunset in the quarterfinals. A pass went in and out of the hands of a Sunset defender to the receiver.
Oh,
that was the winning touchdown in the 4th quarter.
He throws that. Well, he throws that ball a foot higher. It's touchdown, Roseburg.
4th down play. Bodenhammer, the running back. Throw, pass, it's incomplete. He bobbled the pass, incomplete. Bixby couldn't bring it in. He's had only 2 receptions all year. They go to him here in overtime. Bixby couldn't hang on. He had the yardage, and now all Ashland will have to do is score to win the state championship.
It's all about execution. You know, the pass, the protection's there, the pass is there. Now you need that 3rd element. You got to catch it. My question, too, to Thurman Bell. Yeah, is a 40-yarder a little out of Holt's range, I guess? Scott, you had a 4th and 3. He obviously thinks Ashland's going to score that touchdown, or you try that field goal.
It's a long one. That would be a career best, I think, for Holt. But now, 1st down and 10, James Werben. Jimmy Werben has passed for 259 yards today. He was questionable whether he would even play. Flag on the play. The pass is complete to Austin Mason. It's going to be a gain of about 5 or maybe 4, but there is a flag, and it may be called back.
Well, it's from the line judge. That's either offsides or a false start. He gets to see the interior line, so one of the 2.
Boy, you can cut the tension here with a knife.
Legal shift by the offense.
That'll bring Ashland back. Again, the Grizzlies head coach is upstairs. 1-4. I'm sorry, the school is 1-5. Roy Thompson coached the team that won back in '61. Bell won in '81, '95, '96, and the co-champs in '90. The Ashland Grizzlies, who have won twice since 1989. Little play action. Werben with time to throw. Great protection. Throws to the end zone for Kester. In and out of his hands. Great defensive move by Morrison. You might remember Morrison was beat on that one play when he fell down and Kester scored. There's no way that Kester's getting away from Ryan Morrison anymore.
Well, great job up front here. You see Werben has a lot of time. 4.5, 5 seconds to throw this football. There's no injured shoulder on this ball.
You see
great play by
there,
Morrison. Very
52.
nice play.
Yeah. Morrison did exactly what he had to do. What a great ball thrown by Werben.
Now, Ashland, all they got to do now, their strategy isn't really in their favor to get in the field goal range. 3 points wins this game.
You know what? The wind's blowing in from that end zone. Oh, almost a fumble. But they kept on to it. And he's going to be dropped. That was Pavlonis.
I think Nagel thought that. Let's go sweep with Pavlonis. Let's let him pick up 10 yards. If it is 4th down and 2 or 3, the ball's on the 20-yard line. We'll go ahead and kick it for that 35-yarder.
I'm not so sure.
No, that's a long, right,
you know
Scott?
What?
That's a long for both teams.
That would be a long. That would be a long. The longest, Shurovsky, 35 yards.
So he's made a 35-yarder in his short little high school career, but it's still 3rd and 14 here.
So it is 3rd down. Got to get to the 15-yard line for a 1st down. Werben rolls left, gives him lots of time to see the field. He throws towards the end zone. Touchdown, Kester! Ashland is your 1998 state champion.
Oh, wow.
long has been whatever it takes. Find a way to win. For the 4th consecutive playoff game, the Grizzlies have survived. This victory means they are the OSAA US Bank 4A state champions for 1998.
Well, here's my 2 co-players of the game if I was voting. Jimmy Werbin makes a play, but the man has been making plays all day. Kester, 7 catches, 177 yards, and this 2nd week in a row, he has caught the touchdown in overtime to win.
Down on the field, let's go to Babakamian.
Well, here's the man, Jimmy Werbin, playing hurt, didn't practice all week. Game of a lifetime for you.
Oh, yeah. It's the biggest game of our life. We got to come out, and we played strong. And but the first half we didn't come out, but it looked very good. But second half, we came out, we kind of took it to them. They were tired the whole second half, and that's how we really benefited because we're in good shape, and we got the win.
Did it ever bother you? Did the pain ever bother you today?
No, not really. I took a couple hits and it was bothering me a little bit, but not enough to affect my throws or anything like that.
You had to play from behind the whole way. Jim Werbin's done talking. He is celebrating, and Ashland has won another title.
Jay Kester may never give that football up. That was the game winner right there. And yes, Jimmy Werbin is your player of the game. What a game he had. Bad shoulder and all. He wins it for Ashland 29-23 in overtime. Werbin with 15 of 32, 289 yards, 3 touchdowns. He is a guy who definitely made things happen today for his team, Neil.
Well, the concern all week was when he didn't play. Well, he just didn't play. He's player of the game, making the huge throw here to Smith for the equalizer, tie it, and then the throw to his buddy. Jay Kester, there he is right now, getting a nice kiss from his mama, and that's what says a lot about high school football. That's what it's all about. They'll never, ever, and believe me when I say this, never experience this emotion ever again.
Well, we hope you enjoyed it. For Bob Akamian and Neil Lomax, this is Scott Lynn saying so long from Autzen Stadium, where the final score is Ashland 29, Roseburg 23. You've been watching the OSAA 4A High School Football Championships on Fox Sports Northwest, your regional home of Fox Sports Net. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Going Deep.
You don't get in this kind of shape running on a treadmill. You do it with strength exercise, and I do it with the Bowflex. If you're not working out with strength training right now, you need to. Because if you want to lose weight, you got to add the muscle, and that's why you need a Bowflex machine. It's like nothing else you've ever tried before. We've got over 60 exercises you can do on a Bowflex. You're never going to get bored. You can do a full workout in 20 minutes on a Bowflex machine. You're not going to believe how effective Bowflex is the first time you get on it. Bowflex may look a little different, but that's because we designed it to function correctly. Bowflex uses power rod resistance. Bowflex power rods are so effective that Bowflex guarantees results in 6 weeks or your money back. Try going to the gym and getting a guarantee on results. You won't find it. If you call and get our free videotape, you're going to see an effective workout and see how easy and quick and fun working out with Bowflex is.
Next week on Fox Sports Northwest Tonight.
Monday, it's a meeting of the media minds and mouths on Press Road. Tuesday, it's our regular get-together with Seahawks All-Pro defensive end Michael Sinclair. Wednesday, a rain preview of their game against the New England Blizzard. Thursday, we'll profile Cougar basketball player Kojo Mensah-Bonsu. And on Friday, we'll talk Husky hoops as they get ready to take on New Mexico State. I'm Tom Glasgow. Join us for that and more Monday through Friday at 7 on Fox Sports Northwest Tonight.
You're watching Fox Sports Northwest. We now join the following program in progress.
Frog crossed the road. He didn't. One of the greatest video game heroes is back. Frogger on CD-ROM. It's revised, rebuilt, and ready to hop like never before for PC and the PlayStation game console.
Hey, buddy. You okay?
Well, this is what a sorority house looks like.
120 top teams in the only college basketball game for the Nintendo 64. Fox Sports College Hoops 99. It's easier on your own than the real thing.
Go funky, funky.
Sports games, Fox attitude. Going Deep continues with Joe Buck.
The NCAA rules for student athletes are simple. No betting on sports of any kind. No pools, and especially no betting on their own team. An even more serious offense would be influencing the outcome of a game, better known as point shaving. Tom Murray explores this problem as our story continues.
It's no surprise that sports gambling has become such a pervasive problem on the college campus. With